We normally don't do this, don't do three game shows at the same time, 3 shows on YouTube. But unfortunately, today, we had lost, last Friday we had lost a game show legend, Orson Bean. One of the greatest gentlemen of game show history. And today, we are going to honor him with a lot of game shows and a lot of grief. Orson will be missed among everything. So today, we are doing the Orson Bean tribute. Thank you. And more February love. We'll be back tomorrow.
Nutty,
Charles Nelson Riley.
kooky,
Charles Nelson Riley.
watch him
Charles Nelson Riley.
every day on Match Game. Smoking,
Charles Nelson Riley.
joking,
Charles Nelson Riley.
smiling,
Charles Nelson Riley.
styling.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley, he's on Game Show Network. Yeah.
I have other offers, and it's renewal time.
Get ready to match the stars. Orson Bean, Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley, Pat Finley, Richard Dawson, and Joyce Bulafont as we play the star-studded Big Money Match Game 75. And now here's the star of Match Game 75, Gene Rivers.
Thank you, Johnny Olson and friends. Thank you for joining us here. We're going to have a Jim Dandy time today because we got a bunch of weirdos up here.
Why is it always a Jim Dandy time? Why isn't it an Irving Dandy time?
It's an Irving Dandy time we're going to have.
Dandy time.
All right, what?
A Jane Dandy time.
A Jane Dandy time for the women's libbers, yeah. We're going to have a Jane Dandy time today. Would you like to have a Jane Dandy time?
I'd like to have a Jane anytime.
Yes. Okay. We're off and running. Let's say hello to our 2 players, Fred Davidson and Barbara Beebe. Hello there. How are you? Fred's the current champ. He's won 1 game, and he has $1,200 in his account. Or he hasn't got it yet, but it's his irrevocably. And we started this game last time we were together. Barbara had her first round question. Barbara Beebe here from
Van Buren,
Van Buren,
Arkansas.
Arkansas, as you will tell in a moment or so when you hear her say a full sentence. And she did very well with her first round question, which is unusual. She got 4. So you've got your work cut out for you, Fred. And we will go to work in a moment or so, but first this. Ready to carry on, and I will push this button and reveal Fred's first round question. Everybody plays. Grandpa Jones said, says we... not bad. It says we don't have a TV set, but Grandma thinks we do. She thinks she's watching TV when I sit her down in front of the blank.
That is the most lecherous grandfather that ever was.
You're reading again?
No. We don't have a TV set, but Grandma thinks we do. She thinks she's watching TV when I sit her down in front of the blank. Gotcha.
That's the same old guy, Gene.
What?
Went to the doctor at the age of 89, says, I'm losing my potency. The doctor says, when did you notice this? He says, last night and again this morning.
Well, put that in the slot there, then. And away we go. Fred Davidson. Grandma Joe, you don't want me to do all that. You want to give it to you straight? We don't have a TV set, but Grandma thinks we do. She thinks she's watching TV. And when I sit her down in front of the...
Oven?
You don't like that, I take it.
All right, he says oven. Orson, he said oven. What do you say?
He said the wrong thing. It's a washing machine.
The washing machine.
You know, because you got a little thing in it.
Brett, what do you say?
I said the washing machine with the window.
The window washing machine. Washing with a little window in there so you can see the clothes moving around. The motion looks like a TV show.
Right.
Well, Charles.
Do your voice again.
No,
That voice.
He just likes to see the action there.
She thinks she's washing. She thinks she's watching TV. When I said
Now, I got my answer because that kind of an accent, I don't know why, that kind of acting and everything, I just said outhouse.
Oh, dear.
That's funny.
Is he definitely signed for the nighttime version? All right. May we call on you, my dear?
Yes, I'm going to put a little class in this. Window.
Window. Fred David says, when I sit her down in front of the oven is the answer he is looking for.
No, she was watching the Florence Chadwick show in the washing machine.
In the washing machine. That's really an old joke, too, Fred. What do you say, Joyce?
I say he wanted to bite her little earlobe, and he said he was going to do that, and he left the room, and she said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to get my teeth."
So you can bite
In front of the window.
in front of the window there.
She
Keep on
always
trucking.
gets points for guts, anyway.
Yes, right, indeed she does.
Get out of here.
So there's round one, 4-0 the score in favor of Barbara Beebe. From Van Buren, Arkansas, we go to round two and ask you to make a selection.
I'll go with B again.
B again. Now, only 2 people do this.
Nobody writes up yet.
Right here.
Is that a blank?
Frick and frack.
Frick and Frank are the only 2 who play. Now, this is for your exclusive ears.
Yes.
The Undertaker said today the weirdest
I
guy...
can get you in the shop.
Oh, all right. Thanks a lot. Okay. Get my face then. The Undertaker said, today the weirdest guy walked into my funeral parlor. He wanted to rent a blank for the night. Weirdest guy walked in the funeral parlor, wanted to rent a blank for the night. Did you hear that? Okay, the 2 of them are finished. So we call on Barbara Beebe. Undertaker said, today the weirdest guy walked into my funeral parlor. He wanted to rent a blank for the night.
Coffin.
A coffin. That little old lady said coffin.
Did she really?
What do you say, my dear?
Well, since she said coffin, I'll say coffin.
Why not? Okay, Barbara, you're up to 5. Now, there are a number of good choices here. Coffin is one good choice. And what is your answer?
My guy was really weird.
They're really weird.
He wanted to rent a body.
A body.
Well, you know why?
Why
Because
would he
of
do that?
old expression, over my
dead body, yes, of course. So, Barbara, you got 5. When we come back from this commercial message, you're going to have to match 5 celebrities to stay in the game. However, you could win it, Fred, if you match all 6. We'll find out if that happens right after we find out about this. Yes, here we go. Fred, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Listen carefully now. This is very important to you, Fred. Everybody plays because he didn't match anybody in the first round. You all remember Tarzan and Jane, of course. You remember Tarzan and Jane?
Yes.
Well, Jane said. Jane said this. Last Saturday night, all the elephants got drunk. And they all started blanking like Tarzan. Jane said that last Saturday night, all the elephants got drunk. And they all started...
I thought you said elements.
Elephants.
Elements can't get drunk, can they, dear?
No, they can't.
They can rain and storm.
Elephants got drunk and
That's
started
all right,
blanking like Tarzan. Put something on your card.
Yeah, of course I was.
That's it. You got the idea. All right.
Well, I have to explain mine.
Just put that thing on.
You have to explain everything, Pat.
Yes.
All right, everybody ready? Ready, ready, ready. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Fred Davidson. Jane said last Saturday night all the elephants got drunk and they all started blanking like Tarzan.
Yelling? Yodeling?
Yelling or yodeling or that Tarzan yell. Can you do the Tarzan yell?
Indeed, I can. I can even write it.
You can?
Yes, and I did.
You did? Okay. What do you say?
I sound exactly like Tarzan every time my children step out of line. I said shouting or braying.
Oh, that's two for Fred. Charles? Did you hurt yourself, Charles?
Yeah, but with $9,000 worth of teeth, I don't want to look for them in the grass under the vines.
That's right. So the score is 5-3, Fred. And you've got 2 more to go to tie, 3 to win. Let's see if you capture these people.
Well, at the risk of repeating,
Okay.
I didn't know how to spell it. I'm not as bright as Orson.
Okay.
That's the sound that Charles makes when he orders a drink in my bar in La Cienega.
Yeah. Tie score. All right. If we get one more Tarzan yell.
The mail just came. Ray Burns.
Yes, all right.
Ray Burns. Oliphant.
That's here we go. Joyce is up.
Yes,
They all
Joyce
started
is up.
blanking like Tarzan. He says yelling. Everybody else has said yelling. What do you say?
Not yelling. I said swinging. You know, like.
Swinging. Guess what? We got a tie here. We've got to go to a tiebreaker. So we'll wipe this slate clean, push the button here, reveal 2 tie-breaking questions. 1 for each. The one who scores the most will be the winner. Barbara, your choice.
Let's try A.
Gonna try A. All right. Dumb Dora was so dumb. When her neighbor invited her to play Go Fish, she didn't bring a deck of cards. Dumb Dora brought a blank. When her neighbor invited
already
her
have it.
to play Go Fish, she didn't bring a deck of cards. Dumb Dora brought a blank. You know the card game Go Fish? Do you understand? Barbara, you're looking at me as if you don't understand this question.
Barbara, you have to stay awake to play this game.
That's right.
You can't nod off when the question.
Are you all finished over there?
I'm just explaining mine.
Oh, all right. They're all finished over there. Now, Dumb Dora was so dumb. You've heard us do Dumb Dora questions. When her neighbor invited her to play Go Fish, she didn't bring a deck of cards, because Go Fish, you see, is a card game. Have you heard that?
Fish.
No. There is a card game called Go Fish. Have you ever heard of that? Your kids play it, don't they?
We play fish.
Fish?
If you want, we'll
This
play
is probably the same thing, Go Fish.
Do you have a red 7?
When her neighbor invited her to play Go Fish, she didn't bring a deck of cards. Dumb Dora brought a blank.
A fishing pole?
A fishing pole. She said fishing pole.
Yes. I put that she brought a pail with $7.50 worth of night crawlers in it. No, she brought a hook and line and pole, etc.
Hook, line, pole, and everything. That's one man. Okay, Brett, you're up.
She was a little slow there, wasn't
Yes,
she?
she was a little slow, but I think she got the idea.
I think so. Because by golly, so did I.
Oh, that's 2 for you, Barbara. Charles.
Pole!
Pole. When her neighbor invited her to play Go Fish, she didn't bring a deck of cards. Dumb Dora brought a fishing pole, according to her. What do you say?
I say a hook, line, sinker, tackle.
Tackle.
You know,
well,
the whole
that's
thing.
fishing equipment. There's a pole. Right. Now we're up to Richard.
Well, in honor of Bobby Vinton, I wouldn't say pole. I said fishing rod.
Fishing rod. Right. Now, last time you were a dissenter. Are you this time?
No, I behaved myself. I said a pole.
You did, okay. Now, Fred, it's all up to you.
That's tough.
Got to match them all here. She really had a good round there. The smart aleck Hunter said, if the Lord had intended for elephants to charge, instead of giving them trunks, he'd have given them blanks.
I got it. See what I mean? He's looking over here. Again.
If the Lord had intended for elephants to charge, instead of giving them trunks, he'd have given them blanks.
If God had intended woman to do housework, she would have been born with a vacuum cleaner in her hand.
All the women livers and those who approve of that group applauded, and one male chauvinist pig booed. Would you stand up so that we can beat you about the head and shoulders with a stick? There he is over there. Yeah. Get out! All right, everybody ready? Here we go. Fred Davidson, are you ready?
I'm ready.
The smart aleck hunter said, if the Lord had intended for elephants to charge, instead of giving them trunks, he'd have given them blanks.
Horns?
I don't know.
We say farewell to
As we say
Fred.
to Fred Davidson. As the sun sinks down, what do you say? You got an answer?
Consolation prize is a weekend for 3 in Tarzana. If the good Lord had intended
For elephants to charge, he would have given them
credit cards.
credit cards. Come on down, Barbara. We congratulate you, ask you to stand by here for a moment or so while we say goodbye to Fred Davidson. It was a pleasure meeting you, Fred.
It's been wonderful. They're all beautiful people.
You got $1,200, Fred. Congratulations to you. While we're spinning him off, we're going to spin this little message for you, so pay attention. How are you? Barbara Beebe from Van Buren, Arkansas, a dry community. But you may change all that if you win a lot of money. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, Barbara, we polled a recent studio audience and we got their best response to this. Out of blank. Now, the answer that audience gave most often is worth $500 to you if you match it. If you match the next one, you'll get $250. If you match the bottom one, you get $100. Now, 3 of the celebrities are permitted to help. Whom do you call on?
I'm going to try Brett.
You're going to try Brett?
How about out of order?
Out of order is one. Okay.
Charles?
Charles?
Out of this
No, I got 6 and I'm trying to choose.
Yes.
Don't push it on me like that. Out of town.
Out of town. Okay. Pat.
Out of work.
Out of work.
Oh.
So you got out of work, out of town, and out of order. Now, do you want one of those, or do you want to think up one of your own?
I think I'm going to try Brett on out of order.
Out of order is the one you're looking for? And you hope it's under the $500 number, don't you? But we'll begin down at the bottom, Barbara, if you don't mind, and reveal, if you would please, sir, the $100 response. Out of this world.
I had that too.
You had that too, and you rejected it. Well, the audience did not. Out of order is what we want. Is it under the $250 response? Out of order is. Congratulations. Now you got the $250 more. You're up to $350. I ask you, what's under the big one? What? Out of gas. Well, all right, let's find out. Slide it, Earl, out of sight. That's not a bad one, is it? Out of sight. You won the $250. You're going to play for 10 times that amount now, or $2,500. Which one do you want to try to match exactly to collect that?
I think I'll just stick with Brett.
Brett.
Oh, God, love her little heart.
Here we go, Brett. You face me if you would, please. Brett, are you quite ready, my dear?
Yes, I hope so.
All right, here it is. Worth $2,500. Blank sign. S-I-G-N. Blank sign. All right, Bretta's got her answer now. Barbara, we call on you. What would you put in that blank to match her blank sign?
How about a stop sign?
Stop sign. They like it. I hope Brett likes it, she says. All right, Brett, for $2,500, may we see your answer? Stop sign, as she says, will match you.
I feel terrible. Because, you know, she comes in that tacky little town where it don't sell anything. So I figured, what would they need a stop sign for?
Congratulations. Do you get a chance to see this program in Van Buren, Arkansas?
In Van Buren, Arkansas, you're kind of risque, though.
Really?
We're what?
Well, it's a dry town. You know how it is.
That's why they don't sell booze.
They look at everything with a jaundiced eye there, but what the heck?
Gene?
Listen, you're going to play another game now. You've got $2,850. Shall we meet your next challenger? Here comes Tommy Senger. Okay. Hello, Tommy. Now, we welcome you and ask you to tell us about yourself.
I'm a student at the University of North Dakota, and I'm majoring in marketing.
And what are you doing in Los Angeles?
I'm visiting some relatives.
Well, it's nice to have you here, Tommy.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
What are you studying there in marketing?
Marketing.
That's an interesting field. We welcome you, wish you the best of luck. We
Thank
can't
you.
start this instant. We've got to do a little business. This is the nature of the business we have in mind for you. Our time is up. Tommy, I'm sorry to put you in cold storage right after you
That's
got here,
okay.
but you're going to have to come back next time if
I
you
sure
would,
will.
please. All right, we'll look forward to seeing you too, ladies. And you too.
Did you know that when the match game comes on in Van Buren, Arkansas, they put the TV set in a brown bag?
I didn't know that, but why not?
In a sack?
It might be interesting to do it that way. Listen, we hope you'll join us next time when there'll be more fun and hilarity here on Match Game 75. Gene Rayburn, goodbye.
Shell Game. Game Boy.
Boy toy.
Toy shop.
Shop top.
Talk show. Showtime.
Chain reaction from the executive producer of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tonight at 10:30, 9:30 Central.
Sounds like...
Run.
Watermelon.
But you may change all that if you win a lot of money.
Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley, Pat Delaney, Richard Dawson, and Betty White as we play the star-studded big money Match Game 76. And now here's the star of Match Game 76, Gene Rayburn. You forgot your glasses.
Thank you. Did you want, which pair did you want? I brought them both out.
Oh, no, these will be fine, thanks.
Boy, you are really...
Don't laugh. They're cheaper than a dog.
That's the next thing I'm going to have to get.
me.
Oh, it's Gene.
It's Gene,
Wait,
yes,
I
you
thought it
remember.
was Charlie Bronson. That's how blind I am.
Are they all right?
They're wonderful.
Clean?
Oh, there are
Yeah.
people out there.
Good, yes. No, you can't see out of those, Richard.
Oh, Richard.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry I was ever rude to you. Legally, this woman should not be allowed to drive.
That's right.
Or anything else.
Or anything else. What do you say we say hello to our current champ, Cindy Storrs, over here. Hello, Cindy. As time expired last time, she won the game. She got her $100. And we were about to start the audience match, and we ran out of time, right? We'll do that right after we do this message. Here we are. Ready. Listen. Ready. Are you ready? I'm almost ready. Now, Cindy, we polled a recent studio audience, and we got their best response to this. Blank nest. Now, the answer that bunch gave most often is worth $500 to you if you match it. If you match the second most frequently given response, you get $250, and the third gets you $100. And our celebrities are going to try and assist you.
Richard, please.
Bird's nest.
Bird's nest.
Orson.
I would, I don't know why it comes to my mind, but love nest.
Love nest. You got two now.
Brett.
Waiting on those sweet little birds called robins. A robin's nest.
Robin's nest. Okay. There they are. Love nest, robin's nest, and bird's nest. Now you can have one of those, or you may have a better idea in your head. What do you want to do?
I'll go with bird's nest.
Bird's nest, what you want? Let's find out if it's up there, shall we? And if it is there, the question is, where is it? We are going to begin at the bottom and reveal the $100 response. Crow's nest.
Very good. Very.
Crow's
Thank
nest.
you.
That's a familiar phrase. I
Some
can
of my
understand
best
why
friends.
it's there. We are looking for a bird's nest. Let's see the $250 response. Love nest. Who said that? Orson said that.
It's not a bad price.
Orson the lover. Okay. Last chance for bird's nest. Here's the $500 response. You found it. Very good. Okay, Cindy. Now you're getting up there where the money begins to count. You got $600. And with this $500 win, the important thing is you're going to play for 10 times that amount, or $5,000. And remember, you have to match one celebrity, and this has to be an exact match. You have to choose one.
Richard, please.
Okay?
Bird's nest.
Bird's nest. Bring it around over here. I'll get the question worth $5,000. You got your ESP going?
I hope so.
Are you thinking about Richard?
Oh, yes.
All right. Are you thinking about her?
Cindy. I'm thinking about Cindy.
Cindy. Blank magazine. Blank magazine. He's made up his mind, Cindy. Now you've got to make up your mind. Give us an answer which you think will match his. Blank magazine.
Time magazine.
Time magazine. I guess that's a big seller. We'll find out if it does match your answer, and if you do collect the $5,000. What do you say, Richard?
There really were hundreds.
Yeah, there are many, many.
There's
Yes.
Harper's and all this. I buy this just for the centerfold. Playboy.
Yeah. I guess your ESP didn't get over there, or his didn't
Well,
get
there
over
were
here.
so many,
Yes.
and I was just hoping that Cindy would remember that I'm the lech that I am.
Yes, okay. Well, Cindy, you got the 600, and you're going to meet another player. You ready for that? Here comes Carol Parker. Carol Parker. How are you? Okay, come on aboard, Carol. Do you know Cindy? Now we'll welcome Carol Parker and ask her to tell us the Carol Parker story.
Okay, I'm from a little town. I was born and raised in a little town, Scotland, Connecticut.
Yep.
And the past 10 years, I've lived in Tampa and Sarasota, Florida. I have a 16-year-old son, Mike. Hi, Mike. And I'm a sales representative out here on Little Business.
Okay, Carol, welcome and good luck, and let's begin. Here we go with our first round, and ask you to make a selection.
B, please.
B it is. We're rolling now.
Okay.
The old prospector said, the desert heat must be getting to me.
How I dread the old ones.
He said this afternoon, I tried to blank a cactus.
The heat.
It's hot out here in the desert. Hot out here in the desert, and I'm not used to the heat. It's getting to me. This afternoon, I tried to blank a cactus.
You didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't hear the question. Okay, Carol. The old prospector said the desert heat must be getting to me this afternoon. I tried to blank a cactus. Don't say anything yet, little girl. Okay, Charles, we're waiting for you. All right. Now we're ready for Carol. The desert heat must be getting to me, said the old prospector. This afternoon, I tried to blank a cactus.
Ride a cactus.
Ride a cactus. Now, wait a minute. That's not bad. Pull that. Stop that. Wrong. Wrong. I am going to evacuate this room. Get those people off. Don't show them on television. Don't put them on television because you're just going to encourage them. I don't want these people on television. They're a bunch of weirdos. Weirdos.
This is you, they must be like
What did you say? That little girl over there said, ride a cactus.
This entire experience is the closest thing to true revolution I've ever been involved with. Well, the old prospector was pretty much a weirdo even before the sun got to him. He tried to make love to a cactus.
Make love to a cactus. What did you say?
And that's smart.
Yes.
And it'll give you prickly heat. He tried to drink a cactus. You know, he gets
Now, just a second.
Oh, honey, Mr. Wright is a member of the mafia. Be careful.
Right. Well, I read in books that if you're really in dire need of moisture, there's a certain way you can open a cactus and get some liquid out of it and get a drink out of it, right? So that's not
And you know what I'll do for a drink, honey?
You can also have a rye on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're crazy.
What do you say, Charles?
Prickly heat is avoided by shaving.
Shaving a cactus. Right. You're going to get it in the parking lot. Okay, what do you say, Pat Delaney?
Well, if you can't write it, maybe you eat it.
Eat a cactus. I suppose so. Now, Richard.
I have done a lot of work for the armed forces. I'm trying to appeal to the better side of it. I matched Orson, said make love.
Make love.
There'll be a little something in all of your envelopes.
Just be careful as you give your response.
How many years have I been doing this show? A lot of years, right?
A lot of years.
A lot of years.
More years than we care to mention.
More than any of us cares to count. And I have always resisted this answer, but every time I do, somebody comes up with it. This time I say make love, and they didn't say it.
Okay. So there's your first round question, Carol. And that's the way it goes.
Right.
You win some, you lose some. Remember, round 2 is even harder. Now, we'll get to you in a moment or so. First, this message. Oh, dear, we've just been listening to Beethoven's Chorale Symphony while you've been away. Now we shall carry on with the second half of round 1. Cindy, this is all yours. Pay attention. The customs agent said, I think that girl is trying to smuggle a mouse across the border. I can see a little tail sticking out of her blank.
Trying to smuggle a mouse, that's right.
I think that girl is trying to smuggle a mouse across the border. I can see a little tail sticking out of her blank.
Right, sweetheart.
Okay.
Gravy.
You ready, Annie?
I think.
How are things going on the Swiss Family Robinson?
Slowly.
Really? I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, we're always rescued every week.
Well, you are?
Yeah, pirates.
Oh. Are you in trouble now? No, well. They're ready. Okay, here we go. Cindy, are you ready?
Yes.
The custom agent said, I think that little girl, not that little girl, that girl is trying to smuggle a mouse across the border. I can see a little tail sticking out of her blank.
Mouth?
Mouth. Must have been a valuable mouse to make her go through all that.
Yucky.
Dear me. What do you say?
I say, Carol, you're all right. Still hope. Out of her bra.
Out of her bra.
I mean, that's where I would carry a mouse if I wanted to smuggle one.
Right. You?
Well, she had this little low-cut V-neck blouse on.
Right.
And it was just sticking out of her little cleavage.
Right out of the cleavage there. Right, Charles?
I said brasier.
Brasier. 3 of those. That would have worked very well for you in the first round. I can see little tails sticking out of her blank. What do you say, Pat?
Well, I was trying to be clean cut and said purse.
Yeah. Purse, okay. And what did you try to do there, Richard? Lady's looking for a little mouth. A mouth. Sticking out of her mouth.
There you are.
That's the littlest mouth you got, huh?
No, I also said bray.
Bray, okay. Bray. Sorry. I don't know what you're going to find down there, but I'll help you look for it.
Well, it's not going to be a mouse, I can tell you that.
To my knowledge.
Yes?
Out of her dress.
Out of her dress. Very dignified. So there's the end of round 1. And as you can plainly see, it's nothing to nothing, isn't it? Okay, round 2 coming up. Now, Carol.
A, please.
A? Everybody plays, since she didn't match anybody in the first round. I have a TV guide listing for you, and this is it. TV guide. Tuesday night, ABC, Marcus Welby, M.D. During an operation, Welby decides he needs glasses when he discovers that instead of operating on the patient, he is operating on the blank.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute, sweetheart.
You guys keep talking so loud, I can
I
hardly
couldn't
hear
hear.
myself over here. It's the last time. Buzz off. Buzz off! What are you doing?
Nothing, I'm sorry.
You left your seat.
I didn't leave my seat. I have to hear the question again. I was shushing.
Tuesday night, ABC, Marcus Welby, M.D. During an operation, Welby decides he needs glasses, and when he discovers that instead of operating on the patient, he is operating on the blank. Come on, write something there.
Well, don't turn on us.
I tried to save you. I love you.
I love you too.
Operating on the patient, he was operating on the...
You hit my microphone.
Gene?
What?
If neither of these women ever wins, they stay on forever, right?
That's the way it is.
We call this show Gene Rayburn, Gene Rayburn.
Carol, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
TV Guide. Tuesday night, ABC, Marcus Welby, M.D. During an operation, Welby decides he needs glasses when he discovers that instead of operating on the patient, he is operating on the...
Table.
Table. That's a very good answer. I think table is very good.
I think it's very good, too.
He started carving up the wooden operating table there. What'd you say?
I had him operating on the nurse.
On the nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know I started to write table and I thought you would poo-poo my answer? So I threw it away and I wrote nurse.
Aha. Table is good. Nurse is better. Charles?
Now she has 3 incisions.
3. When Marcus Welby discovers that instead of operating on the patient, he's operating on the table, according to Carol. What according to you?
It's, according to me, a table, too.
A table. There you go, Carol. There's one. Very good.
I finally got one.
Table for 2.
Match you?
No, I said nurse.
You said nurse. There. I'll bet a nickel she said nurse.
Well, the nurse was such a cut-up. Of course I said.
Well, yeah. So that's one. Now we come back, all you have to do is match 1 to tie and 2 to win. So it looks kind of easy for you, but we'll see how it turns out after this. This is the last question in this game. Score is 1-0. You need 1 to tie, 2 to win. Jeff said, you know that aftershave the guy on TV slaps on his face?
Yeah.
Well, I use it every morning, but I don't slap my face. Instead, I slap my...
Bless you, bless you. Mercy.
No. It's a sneeze.
Us a clue?
No. I just sneezed. I could not restrain it because if I was tried to hold it back, I would have broke my
I
brain.
don't think I've ever seen anyone sneeze on television before.
Well, why not? Yes, why not?
All right. So
He
what
said,
is
you know
it?
that aftershave the guy on TV slaps on his face? Well, I use it every morning, but I don't slap my face. Instead, I slap my blank.
I got it.
Face and slap my blank.
I got it.
All right. Everybody plays. We're all ready. Cindy Stores. You know that aftershave the guy on TV slaps on his face? You've seen that commercial, haven't you, Cindy?
Yes.
Well, this guy says, I use it every morning, but I don't slap my face. Instead, I slap my...
Wife?
My wife. Okay. Here's a little aftershave, honey. What do you say?
Gene Rayburn, Gene Rayburn. He slaps his bottom.
Slaps his bottom. Very good. Yes, Brett?
Slap my bum.
Okay, Charles.
Rear.
Uh-oh, it looked easy there for a minute, Cindy. Match 1 to tie, 2 to win. Got 3 more here to go. Pat?
Well, if you don't slap your face, you gotta slap your bottom.
Slap your bottom. That's 4 so far.
Well,
Is it unanimous, Richard?
Risk of making an ass out of myself. Derriere.
Now, Cindy is looking for the answer. Wife And Cindy, you've got to match Betty to stay in the game.
Do you know how I love sitting in this seat?
Isn't it grand?
You know it's such fun where you make a fool of yourself, so I had to say white.
So we've got a tie. We have a tie, and we've got to go to a tiebreaker. So let's get rid of all of these lights up here. And in a moment or so, we'll go to a tiebreaker. But right now, we're going to have a little message for you. Here we go. No, we ain't. So when we get together next time, we will go to a tie-breaking question. It'll be one for each. The one who matches most of the ding-a-lings will be the winner. All right? Look forward to seeing you ladies, and you too. Now, before we go today, I must say to look for this lady on Swiss Family Robinson, and to look for that lady on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She's very funny and marvelous and a superb performer. Isn't it funny? This guy's holding up a sign that says you got a minute to go. He's holding up a sign that says you got 40 seconds to go over there. But we'll just keep going on until the light goes out. But Charles is involved in an extremely exciting venture, a Broadway show starring Julie Harris called The Belle of Amherst. And it's about Emily Dickinson.
Which is in Boston now.
He does not play Emily Dickinson.
No, he does not play Emily Dickinson.
Julie
Harris is Emily Dickinson.
It's a big success on the road.
Oh,
wonderful.
It's marvelous.
You saw it. Betty saw it.
Yes, that's right.
I saw it.
And we've read some of the out-of-town reviews, which were absolutely spectacular.
Thank you. It's a wonderful play.
It's going to change your life. Now, when you, after this
I might get new clothes.
No, I don't care about
I doubt
but
that.
I hope you're not going to abandon us.
No.
You're not going to be, even though you're going to be a big
but he does
hit.
a magnificent job.
Okay.
No, you know that.
All right.
Look for
You
me
don't
in the
get free
produce
meals
department
with
of
the other
Ralph's
show.
Supermarket.
Ralph's Supermarket. Orson Bean is appearing all this week. Gene Rayburn here. Join us next time for Match Game 76. Goodbye.
Rangers have now reported sightings throughout local forests.
Sleep-deprived zombies. New episodes of Cram. Coincidence?
An all-new episode of Cram tonight at 10:30 Eastern and Pacific.
Bill Todman production. Stay tuned for Tattletales next over most of the CBS stations.
Carol, what according to you?
That's the star. Orson Bean. Brett Summer. Charles Nelson Wright. At Delaney. Richard Dawson. And Betty White. As we play the star-studded Big Money Match Game 76. And now, here's the star of Match Game 76, Gene Rayburn.
Huzzah! Huzzah! Thank you. Huzzah to you, Orson.
Darling, what a smashing jacket that
First
is.
time I've worn that. Isn't that neat?
I've fallen in love all over again.
You're a rich guy. You got two suits.
That's it. Now, this lady comes to us from the Swiss Family Robinson, and we welcome her, Pat Delaney. And that lady comes to us directly from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and we welcome her. And as for the rest of you, I hope you find work soon. Let's say hello to Cindy Storrs and Carol Parker. Cindy's the current champ. She's won a total of $600, and she's challenged by Carol Parker. The game ended in a tie, as the time expired last time. So we're going to start with a tiebreaker. One question for each. The one who matches the most celebrities will be the winner. Good luck, ladies. We'll get to you right after this. Ready? Here we go. Tiebreaker. Now, it's up to you, Carol. You can have A or B.
I'll try B.
B. Here we go. Tiebreaker. One for each. Okay. The president of El Cheapo Airlines said, "We just taught an ape to fly our airplanes. The only problem is, at the end of the flight, the cockpit is full of blank." All right. Good. Everybody in the bottom row's got an answer?
Well, well, give us a minute up here.
Okay. All right, we're going to roll right along with this. I'll walk over here to Carol Parker, and by the time I get here, they will have finished. Finished. The president of El Cheapo Airlines said, "We just taught an ape to fly our airplanes. The only problem is, at the end of the flight, the cockpit is full of
Banana peels.
Banana peels. She said banana peels.
I was torn between two answers.
Yes.
And went for the more culinary one, banana skin.
Banana skin. There you go. Yes, ma'am?
As they say in the stripper business.
Yes.
Peel it off.
Banana peel.
I'll spare them a bad joke. I'll just turn mine around.
Banana peel. That's three for Carol. They're doing very well with this one. The only problem is at the end of the flight, the cockpit is full of banana peels, according to her. But according to you, Pat?
Bananas.
Bananas? Okay. That includes the peel.
Of course.
Naturally. Richard?
Banana.
Well, that's remarkable. That's 5. What do you say?
Charles would have given a bad joke, but he was yellow.
Okay. Have you been here before? All right, Cindy. You got to match all 6 celebrities to stay in the game. The surgeon said to his assistant, "It is no wonder you're having so much trouble operating. You're supposed to wear surgical gloves, not blank gloves."
Oh, that's it.
You're supposed to wear surgical gloves, not blank gloves.
Surgical gloves. Hi, hon.
Hello.
Okay, dear.
Surgical gloves, not blank gloves.
There are a lot of choices.
Okay. Yep. All right, Charles, just about ready. Right, Charles? Here we go. Cindy? The surgeon said to his assistant, "No wonder you're having so much trouble operating. You're supposed to wear surgical gloves, not blank gloves."
Ski gloves?
Ski gloves. You're saying, Cindy, that everybody over here said ski gloves. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
You hope so. All right, Orson.
I'm back to my my alternate choice for the gorilla. Baseball gloves.
Baseball gloves. What the rest of you have? Hold them up. Boxing gloves, driving gloves, rubber gloves, garden gloves, driving gloves. Come on down, Carol Parker. Okay, Carol. All right, you hang around here for a minute or so. We'll get back to you. Now we're going to tell you about this lady who's going to be leaving here with a pretty good, sizable amount of money, $600, together with our best wishes, Cindy Storr. Goodbye, Cindy. All right. That's nice of you to applaud Cindy as she goes off. Carol, you know how this part of it goes, don't you?
Yes.
All right, let's get right to it. You've got your $100, and now we're going to go to the big money super match here where you can win over $5,000. We polled a recent studio audience, and we got their best response to this. Blank yard. Now, the answer they gave most often will give you $500 if you match that answer. Now, if you match the next one, you get $250. The third one gets you $100. Now, our celebrities are allowed to assist and suggest some answers. Call on them one at a time, if you would, please.
Orson Bean.
Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard, he says. There's one.
Betty White.
Backyard.
Backyard.
And Richard for the difficult one.
Oh, no, not at all. Schoolyard.
Schoolyard, Scotland Yard, and backyard. You want any of those? Or...
Yes. Since I'm from Scotland originally, Scotland, Connecticut, I'll take Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard. What part of Connecticut is Scotland in?
Northeast.
Yeah.
The northeast portion of
I'd
Connecticut.
give it $250.
Yeah, okay. All right, Scotland Yard is what she wants. Let's find out where it is, if it is up there at all. May we see the $100 number? The Longest Yard. Good movie, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, Scotland Yard is the one we're after. Let's see if another $250 response. Barnyard. So far, I don't see anything familiar up there that everybody thought of here. Yeah, these are strange answers. Well, here's the last chance for Scotland Yard. All right, Earl, slide it. Backyard. That was Betty White's answer, backyard. Now, was the audience going for backyard? Now you say that. Where were you when she needed you? Right here. Listen, Carol, you've got $100, and you're going to meet another player in a moment or so, but right now we're going to do a little business. You hang around here, and we'll come right back. You're ready, you're ready. You're ready. Let's say hello to Tommy Simmons. You got friends out there, Tom? No friends? No relatives? You got relatives
No,
there?
sir. By myself.
Well, let's find out a little bit about Tommy.
I've taught school for 16 years.
What'd you teach, Tom?
I taught science, and I coached football, basketball, and track.
And English.
Good for you. And what do you do now? You're sitting here waiting for the game to start,
I
right?
hope so.
Yeah, well, we'll
Hoping
start
for a
it.
little luck.
Anything else you want to tell us about Tom Simmons?
Well, I'm having a good time while I'm out here.
All right.
I've had
We haven't
wonderful.
started yet. How can you have a good time?
I've had wonderful hospitality from Californians. They talk about Southern hospitality. Carolina. South Carolina.
All right. Okay, Tom, I will ask you to make a selection here. You may have A or B.
Well, the only time I was associated with A's in school was whenever I was absent from class. They put A by my name, so I'll take B. I'm more familiar with B.
What office are you running for, Tom?
Boy, was the explorer surprised. When he dug... Shut up! When he dug to the center of the Earth, he found out that the Earth had a blank center. Surprised him.
I hate that question.
When he dug to the center of the Earth, he found out that the Earth had a blank center. A blank center.
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
I got it. Oh,
Let
it
me
took
just
a
see if you
minute. Honey, you read it badly. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you read it badly. The first reading was very bad.
What was it again?
Boy, was the explorer surprised. When he dug to the center of the Earth, he found out that the Earth had a blank center.
Center.
I saw you. I saw you. Can you see what you're doing? You got it. She got the idea. Did you get the idea?
I got the idea, but you stopped me.
Oh, she got the idea.
I got the idea.
Charles, you getting the idea?
Not really, no. Had a blank center. Had a blank center.
Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, that,
all right, just put something
all right,
on the card. And away we go.
Oh, mercy.
What are you doing? What are they doing? I got a thread on my back?
I'll take it off.
All right. Wait a minute.
It was the wire came for you. Craig Houdini escapes the game.
All right, Tommy, you're ready. Here it is.
Well, of course, it's molten, but chocolate came to mind. Chocolate.
Oh, you're going to give me an answer without chocolate. You thought about it a lot. Okay. He says chocolate. That's his answer. What'd you say, Orson?
I said a cherry center.
A cherry. Yeah. I got a piece of chocolate with a cherry in the middle. What do you say?
I thought I'd finally found it. I said it had a shopping center.
A shopping center. That's pretty good. What do you say,
That's
Charles?
a popular fave.
Yeah.
How could you park in all that dirt? Sherry, I said, I'm sorry.
Cherry. He's looking for a chocolate center. What do you offer, Pat?
Chocolate center.
A chocolate center. That's for Tom. What do you offer, Richard?
Caramel.
Caramel. Caramel. And you?
Did he say, of course, it's molten, but he said chocolate? Yeah, it molts in your earth and not in your hand. I think. No, haven't you heard it's a marshmallow?
Marshmallow. That's the best answer of all.
Going, Barbara.
Wrong.
It's not better than shopping.
Yes. No. I say it's the best answer of all. That's one for Tommy.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh.
I'll take A.
You'll take A? Not a girl, Carol. Little Johnny is a mean little kid.
Oh, how mean is he?
I tell you, just for kicks, he ran his cap through the blank.
Whoa! He ran his what? He ran his what?
Just for kicks, he ran his cap through the blank.
Did you cat?
C-A-T, cat.
You shouldn't do those questions when Betty's with us.
Through
I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play it. Okay, I'm going to sit up.
Yes, you're going to play this game. We're going to force you to play this game. Even though you hate the question, you must play. You will play because you are in my power.
Very good. Very good.
I'm finished.
Oh, everybody
Charles isn't finished, though.
Okay.
Oh, Charles is finished.
Now we'll come over here to Carol Parker as soon as Betty's finished. Okay. Now she's got an answer. We'll go to Carol. Little Johnny is a mean little kid. Just for kicks, he ran his cat through the...
Meat grinder.
meat grinder.
He was mean.
Oh, I had no idea he was that mean. Poor Betty is all upset. We're just funning. Just funning. It's a game. What do you say?
It's making me hungry for egg rolls. Meat grinder?
Yeah.
Meat grinder.
Meat grinder. Brad? Oh, really?
Betty will never speak to Orson again as long as she lives. And Alan will probably beat him up.
Well...
Alan will beat him up.
Alan will beat him up.
Or vice versa. Betty's mother
Speaking
made
of marshmallows...
Not that I remember this instrument. Don't misunderstand me. But I said she ran him through the ringer.
Through the ringer. Charles, did you have one?
Yes, I said washing machine.
Washing machine is very good. All right. This moment, the score is 1-1, and we have these three to hear from. What do you say, Pat?
Well, I had an incident one time where a kid really did this, a washing machine ringer.
A washing machine ringer?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's close enough.
What do you say?
You're older than you look.
Washing machine?
A washing machine. Ran his cat through the washing machine. There's a fly in the studio.
Spend some price. Don't kill us.
Now, wait a minute.
Look out, Vinny. Look out. Help. Help me.
Hate flies.
Help me.
No.
Help me. Help me.
That's nothing to surprise on us.
It was David Hedison.
What do you say, Charles?
It's David Hedison.
That's David Hedison, yeah. Now, Betty, here it is. Little Johnny's a mean little kid. Just for kicks, he ran his cat through the meat grinder, according to her. What do you say?
Had you caught the fly, what were you going to run him through?
I was going to kill that fly.
He ran his cat through the car wash. However, it was in a Pontiac at the time.
Okay. So at the end of round one, scores 1-1. Round two, right after this message. To round two, and we will ask Tommy to make his selection.
A, please.
A, Tom, this is it. One person does not play, that is Pat. Okay? Here it is. Stanley said, Fred is really strange. I walked into his bathroom, and there were 2 towels hanging from the rack. They didn't say his and hers. They said his and blanks. His and blanks.
What is it again?
Oh, you got it.
Fred is really strange. I walked into his bathroom. There are 2 towels hanging from the rack. They didn't say his and hers. They said his and blanks. Whatever word you put in the blank ends in S. All right. Okay. Got it. Now we come over to Tommy Simmons. Stanley said, Fred is really strange. I walked into his bathroom, and there were 2 towels hanging from the rack. They didn't say his and hers. They said his and...
Maybe he was happy and his and his.
His and his. His and his. And what do you say?
I'd like to preface showing my answer by saying I don't think it's strange at all. His and his.
His and his. Perfectly normal. What do you say, Brad?
I wish to preface my answer by saying some of my best friends are hisms.
Here's for you, Tom. Charles?
I took it a step further for fun. His and theirs.
His and theirs. Okay. That's it.
What an unruly group.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. Gently, it's Mother's Day. Oh, you don't play, you do play.
Is it Mother's Day?
No, I'm only kidding.
I want to wish all the mothers a happy day.
Yes.
What was the question?
The question is, two towels hanging from the rack. They didn't say his and hers. They said his and blanks.
His and to whom it may concern.
Okay.
The answer of all.
Betty?
His and his.
His and his. Hey, that's 4 altogether for you on that. That's kind of unusual. Carol, you ready for yours?
Right.
All right, 3 to tie, 4 to win. The drunken chef said, who does not play?
I do not.
Oh, you do not play.
Orson.
The drunken chef said, does a pot roast wear a tuxedo? And his assistant said, no, a pot roast does not wear a tuxedo. And the chef said, well, then I'm afraid I just cooked a blank. You see, there's a drunken chef.
I got it.
He asks the question.
He says, does a pot roast wear a tuxedo? And it says, no, pot roast doesn't wear a tuxedo. And it says, well, I'm afraid I just cooked a blank. Does a pot roast wear a tuxedo?
Who's shouting out answers there? Out! Okay, they're all ready. Carol Parker, the drunken chef said, does a pot roast wear a tuxedo? And his assistant said, no, a pot roast does not wear a tuxedo. And the chef said, well, then I'm afraid I just cooked a...
Penguin.
Penguin. She needs 3 penguins to tie, 4 to win. Brett, you're first.
I thought we had a winner. I said he just cooked a maitre d'.
The maitre d'. Who would be wearing a tuxedo, Charles?
I said the waiter.
The waiter. Got to match the rest, Carol, to stay in the game. What do you say, Pat?
If a penguin was big, could he be a turkey?
A turkey. Do turkeys wear tuxedos? That means Tommy wins the game when you have a waiter and a customer. Okay, you stand by for a moment or so here, Tom. Carol Parker will be leaving us with a total of $100. Some
Thank
gifts.
you very much, and I'd like to thank Goodson and Todman. It's been wonderful.
Good. Nice to meet Carol Parker, ladies and gentlemen. While she's spinning off, we'll spin some messages just for you. You were just dandy, and I thank you. And is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Goodbye.
Watch Swiss Family Robinson.
And Mary Tyler
and
Moore.
the Mary Tyler Moore
And
Show.
me at Newberry's.
And you will be
Say
at
goodbye.
Newberry's. And say it's time to say goodbye. Gene Mavernier, join us next time. Match game 76. Goodbye.
National Lampoon. Their brand of humor has brought laughter to millions. Now take National Lampoon, put it together with Game Show Network, and what do you get?
You get something up your butt.
No, you get the first game show where it actually pays to be funny. National Lampoon's Funny Money, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on GSN.
Next, over most of the CBS stations.
So at the end of...
Ready to match the stars, Orson Bean, Red Summers, Dick Martin, from Chips, Brianne Leary, Bill Daly, and Fannie Flagg, as we play the star-studded Big Money Match Game 79. And now, here's the star of Match Game 79, Gene Rivers.
Yeah.
Right here is a
No.
This is not a loud outfit. This is very Eastern school.
Gee, hey, like,
What?
wow.
Eastern Loud School.
on you. $2 on number 4.
No, I'm sorry. Now, here we've got Ron Chislow and Essie Paul. I just noticed that. And we're in the middle of round 2. Now, because we got out of sequence, Essie Paul goes next. And this is your last shot at it here. Essie, the way it is, you need 2 to tie and 3 to win. Easy. Here we go. Piece of cake. Sally, the secretary, said,
Uh-huh.
my boss is really strange. All together, we rehearse them or throw them out. One more time. Sally, the secretary, said, my boss is... No. What is one of the essentials of being a... Oh,
Sally, the secretary, said, my boss is really strange. Okay. A minus. I don't have any plants in my office, so while I was on vacation, he watered my blank. All right. Sally, the secretary, said, my boss is really strange. I don't have any plants in my office, so while I was on vacation, he watered my blank.
Typewriter?
Typewriter's good. That was the nearest handy thing, the typewriter.
I was thinking of a hydrangea bush.
Oh, really?
Howsoever, I wrote typewriter.
Oh, very good for you. A hydrangea bush. They're beautiful. I have one in my yard. Hello
They
there.
grow beautifully by the
Yes.
ocean.
Big
Well,
blossoms.
there's your shorthand, and then there's your typewriter.
All right. Score tie 2-2. One more will win the game, Lefty. Watered her pad. Her pad. Yeah. That's a double. Goes either way. Oh, now wait a minute.
Her pad and her pad.
Oh, the pad. You mean under the desk, the thing. The memo. Oh, the pad, the memo pad. Oh, I see.
Sure.
The
Or
shorthand
a shorthand pad, or the pad where she lives.
The short person, Brienne.
The plane, boss.
Yes, go ahead.
I like the ladies.
Yeah.
No.
You don't like that one?
Do it.
Typewriter.
Well, Ron, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Gene. It was a pleasure.
We're going to send some gifts your way. We've got, ladies' underwear and all kinds of wonderful things. You're going to love it. There goes Ron Sismo. Let's do a little business with the man. Here's Essie Balls. She's got $100. Now she's going to try for more money. The big money here in the Big Money Super Match. We polled the studio audience not too long ago, Essie, and we said to those people in this very room, we said, write down your best answer to this. Blank Giants. If you give us the answer that they wrote down, most often we give you $500. If you give us the answer they wrote down second most often, you get $250. And then for matching the third most popular response, $100. And three of the dingbats will give you some assistance here.
Fanny?
Well, you know, you have to study the newspapers to get these answers correct. I'll dip into my background and say...
She's so intellectual.
New York Giants.
New York Giants.
Are they?
I would say you're a little old for that. They're New York Giants, the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, San Francisco Giants. Yeah. Fanny, haven't you heard they moved to San
They
Francisco?
moved in 1941 or something.
They moved to San Francisco.
Well, they didn't ask me. You need something from heaven?
Chose me.
Who? What do you got,
There,
Brienne?
dear. The great Emmy-winning award television show, Land of
Yes,
the Giants.
Land of the Giants.
I still think New
Now,
York
those
Giants.
are the three. New York Giants, San Francisco Giants, and Land of the Giants. Don't fight, children.
Okay, Dad.
Now, you can choose one of those or throw them all out. Give us one of your own.
I'm going to go with Bill, San Francisco Giants.
Oh, no! It's going to be New York Giants.
You think it's going to be New York?
Yes.
What do you think it's going to be? New York.
Maybe I can change. Can we both change together?
No.
They're getting hostile out there.
They are.
I think we should go with the crowd. at this point.
She wants the San Francisco Giants. Is it under the $100 number? Jolly Green Giants. I know it, but the audience is a little goofy that day. No, what do you mean that day? Okay. Now let's go up the ladder and look at the next one, please.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
You think it's going to be there?
Together, right?
All
It's
right.
going to be Land of.
And we can fool the audience on this one, right?
Okay.
You're
Yes, that's
wrong.
right. Now, you said New York, and he's been saying San Francisco. Now, if it's San Francisco now, you're going to get
Now
booed.
you don't like New York because it's up there already, right?
Right.
Right. Now you don't like it.
All right, let's see the big one, please. Okay, cut. One quick boo for the audience. You get it? Boo. Cut. Okay. I won the $500 means the least you play for is 10 times that amount or $5,000. But you get a chance to spin the wheel as everyone else does. And if you get a lucky spin of the wheel, you'll be playing for $10,000. And we'll all root for a double. Here we go. All right, Essie.
That's on you. Yeah.
Will it stay there?
It stayed there.
Ah.
Right there.
It's not a double, though, is it?
That's not a double.
Which
no.
way is it?
It's
My eyes are going.
Who's on first? What's on
Yeah,
Okay.
no, there it is. It's Dick Martin, and it's $5,000 right there on the blue dot facing me, if you please, and good luck to you. This is it. Fail blank. F-A-I-L blank. Fail blank. Okay, now all we want is the answer that Dick has written on the card. If you do that, you get $5,000. Fail blank.
Exams. All I can think of.
Can't think of anything. There's one answer that leaped into my mind instantly. Did it leap into your mind?
I'm afraid so. I put down fail safe.
Fail safe, yeah. You didn't think of that at all. You think of that, fail safe? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you didn't get the money. Yes, you've got $600 and you're going to meet another player, so let's meet Avis McDermott right now. So you're Avis McDermott.
Yes, sir.
What's your real name?
Hurts.
Hertz McDermott.
Yeah.
I guess people give you a hard time about your name, but we're not going to say anything at all about it, Avis.
Thank
We
you.
welcome you and wish you the best of luck, and we want to get acquainted with you, find out where you're from, and what you do with your life. How do you fill your days?
Oh.
I'm from Huntington Beach.
What?
I'm from Huntington Beach, and
Yeah.
I like to ski and play racquetball, and I'm into photography, and I have a handsome boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Look, guys, going.
He's here,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
She's watching me.
Get rid of him,
We'll
John.
be the judge of that. Where is he?
Which
You
one?
lucky devil. She's so
Oh, the
cute.
guy with the beard. Oh, he is darling looking.
Where
But he-
is he?
Wait till I put my glasses on. I'll be the judge.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Do I meet your approval or no?
I kind of go for him myself, Avis.
I can't find him.
He's the fella right here with the beard.
It's all over.
Oh.
Where?
Down at first
Hey,
row.
I
First
know.
row right there. Okay.
Straight shirt on.
Well, Avis, good luck.
Thank
You have a
you.
choice here of A or B?
I'll go A.
You go with A? All right. Fay Ray said,
Ah.
I know a favorite.
she said, you know how some people throw salt over their shoulder for good luck? Well, King Kong is so big for good luck, he throws blank over his shoulder. She knew him well, as you know.
Oh, I had to see King Kong 4 times before I realized that Fay Ray wasn't really in love with him.
Fay Ray said. You know how some people throw salt? You know who she was.
Yes.
Yeah. How some people throw salt over their shoulder for good luck. She said, well, King Kong is so big for good luck, he throws blank over his shoulder.
A boulder?
Boulder.
She looks like Fay Ray.
Yes. Well, I guess what they're after here, Avis, is something associated with King Kong and Fay Ray.
Yes.
All that.
Salt. Try harder, Avis. I said rock salt.
Rock salt. Okay. That would be difficult. What do you got there?
Well, it's not for you to ask.
Oh, I mean, really.
I said he threw the whole mine.
The whole salt mine.
Yes, dear.
Okay,
As
right.
in salt, that's where they get the salt.
Yes,
That's
of
the
course.
salt
Get
mine.
rid of it. Through Salt Lake over.
Salt Lake,
Yeah.
yeah. Whole thing. Powerful. Avis, you got the idea now. King Kong is so big for good luck he throws
Brett and I are just being totally cosmic. Salt mine.
salt mine. Okay.
We've
Bill?
met
I went
too
one
many times.
farther than Dick. I said he threw Salt Lake City over there. The whole
Salt Lake City. That includes the lake. Yeah. What came to your little mind, Miss Fanny?
And now you got it.
Little? I said he threw Miami Beach over his shoulder.
Miami Beach. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, we'll have a question for you in a moment or so. Right now, we have this for you. Here it is. Okay. Effie, this is all yours. One archaeologist said to another, this mummy can't be for real. Take a look. Since when does a mummy wear a blank? Two archaeologists are speaking to each other. All right?
Quiet. Just writing to my wife, that's all. Let her
Okay.
know.
Essie, one archaeologist said to another, This mummy can't be for real. Take a look. Since when does a mummy wear a blank?
I have to go with this crowd and thinking that it's a girl and say brassiere.
Since when does a mummy wear a brassiere? She thought you're a racy bunch and you would all say things like brassiere.
Well, you've heard of that book by Mr. Hoving from the Metro, the Untold Mystery of King Tut?
Yes.
He was the one that wore the bra.
Aha! Very strange. Tutankhamun wore a bra. No wonder he died at 19. I don't know what that means. He keeled over one day.
Doesn't make one shred of sense.
That's right.
I said he wore a girdle.
A girdle?
Yes.
Take a look. All right.
I'm partly right. A bikini.
A bikini. Okay. This mummy can't be for real. Take a look. Since when does a mummy wear a...
This mummy was obviously a jock. An ace bandage.
An ace bandage.
That's funny.
I think that's a wonderful answer.
I do too.
And amusing, too. Don't you?
Sorry, I didn't match you, I think.
You're embarrassed.
Silicone boobs?
Since when does a mummy wear...
Wrong, but not funny.
But we appreciate your effort, Bill. You're in there trying every time.
Don't you even say silicone around here.
I'll an ice cream silicone, please.
I said, well, hello. I said the mummy was wearing a pair of Gucci shoes.
Take a look. Since when does a mummy wear Gucci shoes? Right. Okay. So there we are at the end of round one. 1-0 is the score. We go to round 2 now. Avis, you may have A or B.
A, please.
A it is again. And everyone will play. Weird Willie is really weird. He's improved quite a bit. Here it is. It was bad enough when he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, but today he got caught with his blank in the cookie jar. Thank you, sir.
Go fishing. Go fishing.
Here we go in. Weird Willie is really weird. He was bad enough when he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, but today he got caught with his blank in the cookie jar.
I don't know if they'd both fit, but with his mistress.
Well, all right. A rather imaginative answer.
Yes.
I can't deal with that reality.
She said mistress.
Caught with his mistress in the cookie jar.
It was a very large cookie jar, actually.
Yes. It was a ginger jar.
Yeah. No, he had broken up with his mistress, so he did the best he could. His whole arm was
His
in the cookie
arm.
jar.
Got caught with his arm. Okay.
Well, I started to say, but then I changed my mind. I said whole arm.
Whole arm, yes.
I went to the other end. His foot.
His foot. Oh. Thank you very much. No, Avis, doesn't look too good for you here. Brienne, what have you got?
I hate to break this to you, but tough noogies, Avis. Head.
Head. Bad enough when he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, but today he got caught with his head in the cookie jar.
Love that.
What have you got there, Bill?
I think Dick Martin has been directing me on the Bob Newhart show too long. I said the foot also.
See? 2 of those.
Great minds think alike.
It would be the opposite thing. Have you won yet? Head. All right, there it is. Head seems to have been the answer. That means that's the call. Win the game. You get one. Right here, usual place there. Avis, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Gosh, it was very short. But
Yes,
we'll have some
it was
gifts
fun.
coming your way from Match Game 79. Avis McDermott. There she is.
Bye.
Now I got a little message for America. And you're going to win more money right there. Essie is up here for her second time. She has $700. Again, she's going to try for the big money here in the Super Match. We polled the studio audience, Essie, not too long ago and said, please write down your best answer to this. Blank for nothing. Number $500 for the most popular answer, $250 for the second most popular, and $100 for the third.
Orson.
Mercy, I got 3 wonderful ones.
Gee whiz, give me 2.
Okay, you can take your choice of the 2 that I leave over. I'll say something for nothing.
Something for nothing.
Brett, Humphrey Bogart once said it to Jack Klugman. Nothing for nothing, kid.
Nothing for nothing.
Bill.
Hey, you got to stick with the winner, right? Say good for nothing.
Good for nothing. So you have good for nothing, something for nothing, and nothing for nothing. Those are the three. Again, you have the option of choosing one of those or giving us one of your own.
He wants another kiss.
Yes.
Good for nothing.
Oh.
I was hoping a little for more than that, but if we win, we may have an affair.
Okay. We'll watch you very closely. Good for nothing is what she chooses, Bill's answer. Here we go. We're looking for it. Let's see if it's under the $100 number. All for nothing.
All or nothing at all.
That's my life, all for nothing.
No, we want good for nothing. Let's see the next one, please. Something for nothing.
We have to go through this again.
Yes. Last chance for good for nothing. Slide the big one. You got it. This is your day, right? Oh, okay. Again, after you've won another $500, and the least you play for is 10 times that amount or $5,000. But we're going to ask you to spin the wheel and see if you can double your money and play for $10,000. Good luck. Here we go. Any of the gold star area will be a double. Gosh, it just slid past. I can't see. It's electronically controlled, so it's just out of the area by a fraction of
Well,
an
we're doing
inch.
pretty good so far,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, $5,000 again.
Now try and
Suppose
get
you
it
win the
this time,
5,000.
Bill.
You gave him a kiss for the 500. What? Well, I won't. I don't care.
Let's not get into that.
No, that's right. Okay. Good luck anyway. Just swing around here a little bit there. All right, here we go. Blank file. F-I-L-E. Blank file. Blank file. Blank file. Okay, now, Bill is finished. If you give us the answer that he's written on the
Let me
card...
get off my clothes first, because this is going to be good.
Is it?
Oh, this is going to be quick. This is going to be rated X. This winning here. This is going to be horrible.
All right. For the first rated X win on the show. No, we've got to get an answer from you first. If you give us the answer, you get the $5,000 and whatever else he wants to throw in. It's, so to speak, blank file.
It's a movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
We can't help you out here.
I got one for her. Can I give it to her?
No.
No. Of course I can't. That's silly.
Well,
I gotta say Rockford.
the Rockford File.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You were trying to think of another movie, a feature-length film, and not the TV show?
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, she says Rockford File will match it. What do you say?
There goes my evening. Nail file.
Nail file. Simple. You'd think she would have thought a nail file. Wouldn't you think? You don't use a nail file? What do you use?
I don't do anything.
Oh, you don't? Well, I see. Well, anyway, Bessie, you've got a total of $1,200, and you're going to meet another player in a moment or so after we do a little business with America. No, it was not the Ipcris file. Now, what, the George Siegel was in that picture. What was the name of it? Well, anyway, we got to go. We'll see you tomorrow. Think about it. I'm Jim Cramer. Join us next time for Dance Game 39.
False pregnancy, fairy dust, tramps, idiots, hots.
Classic Hollywood Squares coming up next on Game Show Network.
Silly savages.
Game 79, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. The program was edited for broadcast.
Yes.
I went to the other end. His foot.
His foot? Oh. Thank you very much. No,
Mr. Bill Shatner and his wife, Marcy Lafferty Shatner. Zsa Zsa Gabor and her husband, Mr. Jack Ryan. Mr. George Hamilton and his wife, Alana. Joan Collins and her husband, Mr. Ron Cass.
Nothing breaks up a marriage like a tattletale. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Game Show Network.
Everyone in this arena has a money stake in one of our famous couples as we play the game of celebrity gossip, Tattletales. And here's the star of Tattletales, Bert Convy.
Why, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tattletales. It's nice to have you with us today. I feel good today. I shouldn't. I've already had an awful morning. I just bumped my head on the trunk of my car. Did you ever do stupid things like that? No, I'm not looking for sympathy. No. Well, but if you want to, it's okay. Thanks. Anyway, rolling right along, we have 3 wonderful couples today who don't need your sympathy. They're so terrific, and they're going to win you a lot of money. I promise you that. Here they are, winning money today for the blue section. First time on our show, as a matter of fact, the star of Grady, Mr. Whitman Mayo, and his wife, Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hi.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, have you ever seen it on television
No, what
before?
does she look like?
Because, you know, very often people come and they haven't seen their wives on television.
Wow,
before.
baby, you
See,
look
never mind, Orson, sit down. Welcome to you both. It's nice to have you with us. We'll talk about Grady. I know it's going great. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, winning money today for the banana section, and he's already started, as you can see, old favorites of ours, Mr. Orson Bean and his wife, Carolyn Bean.
How does he look on television?
He looks, how does he look on television? He looks fair.
Yeah, he looks.
No, he looks very good on television. And Carolyn, of course, always looks gorgeous. Nice to have you, my darling.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
good to be here.
Yes, it is good to be here, isn't it? And winning money today for the red section, also the first time on our show, and this is kind of fun to have him on with us, Mr. Wink Martindale and his wife, Sandy.
How does she look?
Well, we have 3 beautiful ladies, no question about it. Sandy, is Sandy, well, ask Sandy. Sandy, have you been on television before?
Yes, I have.
Well, I can tell, because you're very photogenic.
Oh, thank you.
An old winker?
The old man is here
Nice,
with
Andy.
my daughter. Yes.
You know why? Is that when you have a guy like Wink on a show, and right away my voice sounds like Bobby Breen to me. I say, "Hi, Wink, how are you?" He says, "Hi, Bird, wonderful to see you."
You probably think Sandy is sitting down. She's standing up. She's about 5 feet tall.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll find out when she comes
I know
out.
her from the vegetable department at a Hughes Market.
You do? We need it. Oh,
She
you're...
asked me to reach her an avocado once.
I almost stole his oranges.
Oh, really? Hold on here. Moving right along. We haven't even asked a question and you started already. And here
Wink and
comes
I
the
meet
first
at
one.
Mayfair.
Speaking of questions, here's the first one worth $150. Ladies, a minister recently made news by publicly burning thousands of dollars worth of rock records. This is true. He claimed that hard rock music is so sensuous that according to a survey of 1,000 unwed mothers, 98% of them were listening to it when they became pregnant. Gene Wood is hysterical. What, does this sound familiar, Gene? Tell us, would hard rock music tend to enhance your romantic interludes or to turn you off? Think it over, ladies. Don't personalize now. Off you go. That's a kind of an interesting question.
Personalize?
Well, they have to personalize, but not the
I
other
would hope
part.
so.
Grady, what will Gail say?
She would say, Bray, that hard rock would turn her off.
Yeah.
I mean, turn her on.
Oh, turn her on.
Turn her on. But hard rock music would turn her off.
Let me put this by again here. You're going to say, I forgot the question now. Would hard rock music tend to enhance your romantic interludes? And the answer is yes. Or
No.
It would not.
It would not.
It would turn her off.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
Hard rock music would turn her off.
Hard rock music would turn her off. Whee! Let's go. Here she comes now. Gail, tell us, would hard rock music tend to enhance your romantic interludes or turn you off?
It would definitely turn me off.
That's it. You got it. You are right. You have a share of the pot there, Whitman, and it was beautifully done, too, I must say. Orson, what will Carolyn say to this?
I was just laughing before because I happen to know that Gene Wood's wife became pregnant while listening to Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians.
Yes. That's sometimes known as bedrock, isn't it? Oh, well, look what I said. I didn't mean to say that. Here we go.
That's very hard to say. She likes rock music, and I think that, she gets turned on by rock music and by card tricks and Brussels sprouts and, indoor-outdoor carpeting. So I would say yes. There's very little that doesn't turn her on.
All right, so you'll say yes, it will turn her on. Let's, enhance her romantic interludes is how we say it. Let's bring her on. Carolyn, tell us, would hard rock music tend to enhance your romantic interludes or to turn you off?
Well, I personally get turned on by Onward Christian Soldiers.
Oh. But what about the rock music?
Hard rock. Yeah, I like that too.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Onward Christian soldiers.
Never mind.
Nothing like Brussels sprouts.
No, right. This brings us to an interesting situation, Wink, because you play a lot of music. If Sandy is home listening to this music...
which she better be.
Yeah, alone. How would this music strike her? Would that
there
enhance?
with the Avon person.
Yes. I tell you, Sandy is a former dancer. She danced in all of Elvis's pictures. So she likes rock music. However, she everything she does, she walks in rhythm. Everything she does in rhythm. But she is also... No.
You know, you've told us.
They're not following my line of thinking.
Yes, they are. They're way ahead of you, Wink. That's where they are.
Okay. However, she's a very romantic person. So, Johnny Mathis, yes. Montavani strings, yes. But rock music, no.
No, okay.
No.
All right, no hard rock, eh? I can't wait till she comes out here. First, you've said she's 5 feet tall and she walks in rhythm. You know, I can't wait. We're going to find out next. All right, you will say no. It turns her off, hard rock music.
Right.
Okay, here she comes. Sandy, tell us, would you say that hard rock music tends to enhance your romantic interludes or to turn you off?
Definitely off.
That's it. You got it. Everybody got it. That was a snap for you. We'll split that one 3 ways. We'll come back in a moment and split a whole bunch more 3 ways. Please don't go away. See you in a second. It's going to be wild today. I have a feeling.
Love grand.
All right, we have a 3-way tie so far after the first question. Everybody's already won some money. Here we go. Question number 2, worth $150. Ladies, this is it. Ladies, here's a deal for you. The next time you get ready for a big party, $100 if you'll get dressed, made up, and appear at the party without using any kind of mirror. Will you take the deal? Pretty good question. Think it over. Off you go. The question, of course, being, would a woman trust herself to get ready completely and not look in a mirror? And we'll give her $100 if she'll do that. Would Carolyn do that, Orson?
But you didn't really phrase it that way.
Yes, I did, didn't I?
You didn't. You said, like it's a dare, $100. And she didn't give a damn about the money, you know. Like if you just said, do you trust yourself to get made up in front of a mirror, she would say yes. If you said, we'll give you $100 to do it, she'll say no. She's perverse.
It's funny, she hasn't said a word yet.
You must really know her well.
No, I see what you're saying. You're probably right. But that's the way we've asked it. So,
yeah, you asked.
So we're going to offer $100 if she'll get dressed and made up and go to the party and not look.
Yeah. It's Hobson's choice. I don't have a clue what the hell she's...
Well, now, if you...
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Well, because you said she would go without looking in the mirror. So, for $100,
we don't have any mirrors in the house. I'm a vampire.
I understand.
I don't know. I'll go with they know better than I do.
You're going to say she'll take the deal.
I guess so. I don't know. It's a rotten question. I'll say, yeah.
No, it's a good question.
I know. I meant to say it's a good question.
No, I think it is.
Good and right.
I think what has turned you off perhaps is the $100, which doesn't seem to make much difference one way or another. We just did that to sweeten it a little bit.
Yeah, I think she could get ready. You know, depending on who was coming over, she wouldn't have much to get ready. You know?
Yeah. Well, this is going out. I think you're going to a party.
She doesn't wear a lot of makeup and stuff.
Right. Okay. So you'll say she'll take the deal.
Without any enthusiasm, I'll say.
Here she. We'll take that into account. Okay. Thank you. Carolyn, what are you going to do now? You're going to a big party, and we'll give you $100 if you'll get dressed, made up, and appear at the party without ever using a mirror. Will you take the deal?
No, I'm not that hard up.
That's not what the man said. There you are.
Now, ask her if she... You know what to ask her.
No, you ask her.
Would you do it if the $100 wasn't involved?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, well...
That's exactly what I said.
Yes, that's right.
I should have stuck with my guns in the...
That's right.
Damn banana section took me out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd do it for a dare.
For a dare.
That's right. That's what he said. Yeah. So we offered you $100. You said no, and then the bananas just lost a little bread there. But don't worry about that. They'll get you later. Wink, what will Sandy say?
Well, I tell you, Sandy is not a vain person, but I can assure you that she takes longer than, I guess, any woman I have ever known to get ready to go someplace. You ladies know how that is, I'm sure. Especially this my group over here. I can tell these gals, it takes you a long time. However, last Halloween, Sandy went to a Halloween party nude for $50, so I think that probably she would do this for $100.
She went nude for $50?
That was a joke. I'm not serious at all. My answer is I think that she would get ready without the mirror for $100.
Do you think she would?
I
Yes.
certainly hope she
Yes.
would.
I see the guys taking up a collection in the red section now. They got 35 if she'll come out here nude. Do you think it'll work out, fellas? All right, you'll say she'll take the deal.
Yes.
She'll take the $100 and not look in the mirror.
Definitely.
Here she comes now. Sandy, the choice is, of course, you're going to this big party. And we want you to get dressed up, made up, and appear at this party without using any mirror of any kind, and we'll give you $100. Will you take that deal or no?
Yes, for sure.
That's it. You got it. Sorry about that,
That's all right. Me and the banana section are very rich, and we don't need the money. We don't.
That's true. You and the bananas don't care because Orson's going to make it up to you out of his own pocket, gang. Don't you worry about it at all.
Orson's joking about it, but nobody in the middle section's laughing.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Moving right along, Whitman, what will Gail say to this?
Well, Bert, I think that every person has their price. Now, I don't think $100 is enough
Is the
for
price.
Gail
I see.
to keep her out of the mirror. Now, if we would raise the ante a little bit.
Do you believe this?
See, I
now I'm
think
going to negotiate for the question.
So, therefore, I would say that, no, she would not take the
She wouldn't take the $100.
No, she needs that mirror.
How about the 150?
100, we're getting close.
Okay. You'll say yes. She will not take the deal. Here she comes. The deal is, Gail, that we want you to get ready for this big party. Get all dressed up, made up, and appear at the party without using a mirror of any kind. Would you take that deal for $100?
I'll take it.
No, that's not what Whitman said. He said it wasn't enough money. Sorry about that, gang. Sandy and Wink get the whole thing for the red section. We'll change places at halftime, gentlemen. Just step to the rear. We'll bring the ladies out front. We'll come back with the second half. Could you get ready without a mirror? I don't think I could.
Craftsman has...
We have changed places. I have the ladies with me, and everybody's got to play catch-up to Sandy and Wink. Here we go, if you're ready, fellas. This one's worth $150. Men, which type of woman is more appealing to you? The cool Grace Kelly type or the torrid Sophia Loren type? Interesting question. It's come across all of our minds, I think, at one time or another. Think it over, fellas. Off you go. We'll start with you, Sandy. You've got all the money. What about Wink?
Since I'm Italian descent, I hope he'll say Sophia Loren.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What was your maiden name?
Fera.
Fera?
Means iron.
Yes, okay. Sandy Fera. Grazie.
Si,
You say the
prego.
Sophia Loren type. Here he comes. Which of those types would you say is more appealing to you, Wink? Grace Kelly type or Sophia Loren?
Well, I've always been a pushover for blondes. You can tell that by looking at my wife. But I would go for the very cool Grace Kelly type.
No, that's not what...
That's what I said. I wouldn't go for the cool, appealing Grace Kelly.
No, but you're close, Wink.
Well, there went our record.
Oh,
Our
my.
perfect photo
There
record.
went something else, I'm afraid, too. Sorry about that, Wink. Gail, what's Whitman going to say?
Sophia Loren.
He will? Absolutely?
Absolutely.
You say that
He
with
better.
some conviction. Here he comes now. Whitman, which type will it be? The cool Grace Kelly type or the torrid Sophia Loren type?
I'd have to go with one that closely resembles my very own wife.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, I would say the torrid type.
That's Sophia Loren, you mean?
The Sophia Loren type.
Yes, that's what you said. You handled that very well, too, I might add, sir. Carolyn, how about Orson?
I think Grace Kelly has too much class for Orson. So I'll say Sophia Loren.
I wouldn't have said that. I'm glad you did.
It's just my way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Not known for tact.
This is Sophia Loren it is. Here he comes. Which one will it be, sir? The cool Grace Kelly type or the torrid Sophia Loren type?
It's hard to say. There are qualities in both that I admire. Grace Kelly has a regal patrician beauty that makes you want to take her home, throw her on the linoleum, and do terrible things to her. But Sophia Loren is one woman that wasn't built in a day.
Yes,
I
true.
think that, as they say about Pikes Peak, you want to climb it because it's there. I'll go for Sophia Loren.
That's the one to go for. You got it. Carolyn and Orson, Gail and Whitman split the pot in half, and now we have a very interesting situation, a much closer game. We'll come back with a $300 question and decide this one in just a moment. Don't go away. Hello there. This question is worth $300, and this will decide the game. If you're ready to go, fellas, here we go. Orson, you and Whitman have 125, and Wink's got 200. Here we go. Have you ever walked out of a room while your wife was talking to you and left her talking to herself? Think it over. Off you go. Goodbye. I don't know. I'm glad you didn't ask me this question. I think it's a very good question. And we'll start with you, Gail.
I hate to say this, but I didn't hear the question.
The question was, have you ever walked out of the room while your wife was talking to you and left her talking to herself? Has he ever done that to you?
Occasionally.
Yes. So your answer then would be yes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here he comes. Whitman, have you ever done that? Has Gail ever been talking something and talking about it and going on, and then you've walked out of the room and left her there talking to herself?
I've also come back and she was still talking.
That's it. That's what you said. Does she get upset with you for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
I know that.
Okay, Carolyn, how about Orson? What will he say to that?
Yeah, he's definitely done that. I don't even know if he's aware of it, but he has done it.
He missed it, but he did it.
Right.
Yes, it is. Here he comes. Orson, you're having a conversation, and Carolyn is talking and talking and talking, and you get up and wander out of the room. Have you ever done that and left her there talking to herself?
One day not long ago, she paused in mid-babble and said, "Am I boring you, darling?" I said, "No, dear, I'm not listening." Yes, I'm afraid I have walked out.
Yes, that's right. That's what you said.
And she does it to me all the time.
She does.
I'm talking to her.
Yeah.
And one of the kids will come in and try to talk to her at the same time. And I suddenly realize that she's whispering to the kid so as not to interrupt me. And I'm talking to her.
And you're still talking.
But at least I stay in the room.
Does that sound familiar? Doesn't it seem that when you have a child or two or three that you have 4 conversations going on at all times?
Yeah, well...
Boy, I do. It's murder. Thank you, Orson. Okay, this will decide the whole ball game here, Sandy. What will Wink say?
Winston will say yes, because he even tunes me out when we're in the same room and I'm talking to him. If he's watching the news or a ball game, I can just talk on and on. He has no idea.
Did you say Winston?
Winston Conrad Martindale.
Winston Conrad Martindale.
Yes.
Must have come over on the Mayflower, wouldn't you say? Let's bring Winston on, then. Hello, Winnie.
Yes.
We just
woke me up.
Sorry about that. This will decide the game. Wink, I don't want you to feel any pressure or any tension.
Thanks,
or anything
Bert.
like
I needed that.
But the other two fellas have it right, and here you go. Have you ever walked out of the room and left Sandy talking to herself?
Bert, Italians are noted for the talk that they can make. I mean, my wife is an incessant talker. And I can assure you that if I didn't walk out of the room sometimes, I would never get any work done. So the answer is yes.
That's it. You got it. You all got it. We split it 3 ways. However, time is up. The red section with Sandy and Wink have won it today. We will come back momentarily and let you know how much Sandy and Wink have won. Don't go away. See you in a moment. The red section with Wink and Sandy won $300. We had $1,000. They will divide $1,300 among them out there. Wait. At the moment, you have Gambit, of course, on CBS. And when is it on? Tell everybody, because I know it's different on each coast.
Well, in the Pacific Coast, in this time zone that we're in here, it's on at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Bert. And I think in the East, it's on at also 10 o'clock.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, they'll have to tune in CBS all day and find out.
Yeah, the thing is, it's on.
That's the main thing.
And if they tune in us, then obviously they're going to be around for you if they stay all day long.
That's what we're hoping for.
That's what we want.
But we have to tell the Red section that he did apologize. He said I was right on the Sophia Loren question.
See, there you go. But we'll hope you come back tomorrow and see who's going to be right the rest of the way. Bert Convey saying so long, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Mr. Roper needs to compete. Mr. Howell needs to taunt. Come on. And some stars need to take a deep breath.
I'm going to pass out.
The feuding in Hollywood just got a lot more interesting. So let the finger-pointing begin as your favorite stars don their battle attire for Celebrity Family Feud. And it's Richard's job to make sure everyone plays nice. Watch Celebrity Family Feud weeknights at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Game Show Network.
My name is Betty White.
My name is Betty White.
It's not going to be this easy when To Tell the Truth returns today on NBC.
What is your name, please?
My name is Evelyn Boran.
My name is Evelyn Boran.
My name is Evelyn Boran.
Only one of these ladies is the real Evelyn Boran. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, Betsy Palmer, plus 100 people in our studio audience on To Tell the Truth. This portion of To Tell the Truth is brought to you by Campbell's Bounty Stew. Sitting in for Bud Collier is the producer of To Tell the Truth, Mr. Mark Goodson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Panel, first of all, I want to say there's good news and there's bad news today. The bad news is that Bud Collier is not feeling well, and I hope he's going to feel well again very soon. The good news is I get to do this. And I've never done it before. I'm a producer. It's much easier to be back there frowning at you. And you notice that because of me and my honor, the first spot has 3 beautiful girls. All right? Betsy, you're also here instead of Kitty, who is off at the Met. I think
is she
singing,
off at the Metropolitan?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
good.
I understand you're on your way to do some singing.
I'm off to do, well, why do you suppose I have a haircut again?
South Pacific.
I'm off to do South Pacific again in California. In fact, we open next Tuesday, Jean-Pierre Aumont and myself.
Sweet
How
man.
about that? I hear he is a very, very nice man.
Okay.
In West Covina, can I say where?
Yeah, you can say West Covina.
All
Okay.
right.
Now that we've finished the plugging, today again we're going to give 100 people in our studio audience a chance to vote electronically each time we play a game on To Tell the Truth. So audience, stay alert please and get your voting buttons ready. We'll be calling on you in a few seconds. Now panel, in front of you are today's envelopes, the contents of which you've never seen before. So open up envelope number 1 and follow along as I read. I, Evelyn Boran, am an underwater stunt woman. I've appeared in the swimming sequences of 2 James Bond movies. The most difficult stunt that I have performed was riding on the back of a 5-ton killer whale. Swimming seems to come naturally to my family. My husband is a well-known underwater photographer, and our baby daughter has been swimming since she was 4 months old. Signed, Evelyn Boran. And we will now start the questioning with Orson Bean. Orson?
Thank you. You all 3 have beautiful tans and are fine-looking ladies. Number 3, in what movie did you ride on the back of a 5-ton killer whale?
Namu the killer whale.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that, but I saw it around the NAB theaters. Did you really do it, or was it tricked up in some way? You really did it? Mm-hmm. My goodness. Who was supposed to be doing it in the picture?
Who was supposed to be doing it?
Somebody else, I mean, or was it... Were you a character in the picture?
Yes. She was Miss America once before.
Oh, the lady that you were supposed to be, I see. Number one, in the James Bond pictures, did you do any of the underwater stuff in the big underwater fight sequence?
Yeah, well, not in the underwater fight, but I was swimming underwater.
Yes.
Dubbing the actor.
All right, Betsy, please.
Number one, who plays James Bond in your film?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. And what kind of build does Sean Connery have?
What kind of build?
I mean,
What was the question, dear?
I would like to know what his build, his physical build is like.
His build?
Yes.
He's built very well.
No, but is he a tall man or a...
He's fairly tall, yes.
Fairly tall. Number two, did you shoot all of the sequence in Florida, or did you have to go elsewhere?
No, we shot it in Nassau.
In Nassau?
Yes.
Yes. And did you shoot anywhere else?
All right, Tom Poston, please.
Number two, what happened to Namu?
What happened in Namu? Well, Namu...
No, to Namu.
To Namu. He died.
Poor beastie. Over love of a girl, I think. Girl killer whale. Number one, do you go down into the water and hold your breath for a long, long time while they film it, or do you have to keep coming back up and forth?
Well, I have to come back up and take a new breath. I can't stay that long.
Number one, you're sometimes made up to resemble the actresses whose place you're taking in the underwater sequences, right?
Yes.
What about, now, number three has plenty of long hair. I can't tell about number two, but your hair seems short. Do you have to wear a fall or a wig?
Yes, I wear a wig.
And it doesn't come off in the water?
No.
Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number one, was your killer whale tame that you rode?
Number one.
I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. It was captured.
Well, number three, how did you stay on? I mean, what did you use? Suction cups on your feet or something?
No, well, every time he went underwater, I got off him, and then I came on. They just shot him in sequences.
That seems very bright to me. Number two, have you ever run into any poisonous fish down there, like Portuguese men of war or stuff like that? Have you ever been hurt?
I have not.
You never have?
No.
Thank you.
All right, panel. Brilliant questioning. Now, without change or consultation, it's time for you to mark your ballots. And while you're voting, it's time for those in our studio audience group to vote. On the voting machines in front of each of you are three buttons. When I say vote, please select number one, number two, or number three. Are you ready? Vote. The music from another sphere. All right? Your votes have now been registered, and we're going to reveal the results in just a moment. But first, let's see how the panel votes. Now, Tom, what'd you vote for?
Mark, I voted for number one. I thought she was a girl with a great sense of humor, and I think you would have to have that to do this kind of dangerous work and enjoy it.
All right, Peggy, which one did you
I
select?
almost voted for one because she knew that Sean Connery is very well built, as indeed he is, but after all, anybody that saw the movies would know that. I voted for number two because she knew that poor little Namu the whale died.
Oh.
He died in his nest.
Oh. He was trying, it was the mating season, and he was trying to get out.
Well, that's life.
Orson?
I voted for number three. I think that she has a cool look about her that a pro would have to have, and that she could hold her breath for a long time.
And Betsy?
Well, I voted for number one because she speaks with a slight accent, and I would say that Lauren might be Scandinavian, and to me she looks Scandinavian.
All right. Well-reasoned, interesting decisions. Panel, your votes are all in. Now let's find out. I'm very curious to find out who got the most votes from the studio audience. Now, our audience out there voted for number one, and quite strongly for number one, 46 votes out of 100. Okay, here we go. Will the real Evelyn Boren please stand up? Fooled everybody except one, except one in the studio audience. Now, Evelyn's baby daughter, by the way, is very cute. We happen to have a picture of Evelyn with her mama underwater. Can we see that picture? Can you see that? Evelyn, how old is the baby in that picture?
She was 9 months when that picture was taken.
9 months? How old was she when she first went underwater?
I started her at 2 months in the bathtub and 4 months in the swimming pool.
Good heavens. All right. Okay, let's find out who the other lovely young ladies are. Number 1 got 3 votes, including the audience vote. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Heide Beste, and I work for reservations in British Overseas Airways.
All right. And number 3, you got 1 vote. How about you?
My name is Joey Addison, and I'm a bunny at the New York Playboy Club.
All right, that means there were 3 incorrect votes from the panel, plus 1 from our studio audience, which is a total of $400 for you ladies to divide. Thank you very much for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
There are millions of children in this country who have been deserted by either their mothers or their fathers. Finding these runaway parents and reuniting them with their families is the difficult job of one of these 3 gentlemen. What is your name, please?
Solomon Z. Weiss.
My name is Solomon Z. Weiss.
My name is Solomon Z. Weiss.
We shall play our game with Mr. Solomon Z. Weiss in just a minute after this special word of interest. In your second set of envelopes while I read the statement. I, Solomon Z. Weiss, am Executive Director of the Family Location Service. It is our job to find husbands and wives who, for one reason or another, have deserted or become estranged from their families. Last year, we were involved with over 1,100 of these cases. Some 9 million women and children in this country are the victims of desertion. Last year alone, aid to children whose parents had deserted them ran to over $900 million. The basic purpose of our organization is to reunite families whenever possible. And I'm proud to say that the Family Location Service is the only agency of its kind in the world. Signed, Solomon Z. Weiss. We'll continue this game with Solomon Z. Weiss in just a moment after this message. And for those of you who tune in a little late, I want to say that Bud Collier is not feeling too well today. We hope he's going to be back with us by tomorrow or Monday. The panel, these 3 gentlemen claim to be Solomon Z. Weiss. An audience thinks you're going to be asked to vote later on for the real person. Keep your eyes and ears open. Let's begin the questioning with Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 3, do you think that children are better off with 2 parents who don't get along or 1 parent when there's peace in the home?
I would suggest 1 parent.
Thank you. Well, number 1, if somebody deserts deserts his children or her children, how can you talk that person into coming back and living with the spouse and the children if he wasn't happy there in the first place?
Well, we'll find out why he left.
Oh, you do family counseling, in other words.
A certain amount.
Thank you. Number 2, could you tell me what parents without partners is?
Number 2. Parents without partners?
Yeah.
Well, one is deserted, or one is divorced, or one has died.
Thank you.
Orson?
Number 3, are you interested in finding the estranged spouse and arranging a financial contribution?
Yes, sometimes.
Is that the primary thing, or is it to really get them to come back and sit around drinking a can of beer and watching TV at night with their shoes off, like you used to, which is why she drove them out in the first place?
Yes, to try to make a happy at home.
I see, all right. Number 1, now, this $900 million, who lays this out? Are you talking about relief, or...
The government of the United States.
In what way do they lay it out? In relief
aid
payments?
to dependent children.
Aid to dependent children?
That's right.
Through relief payments at the local level?
Through relief payments at the local level, yes.
Betsy Palmer.
Number 2, does this help that you give to people include unwed mothers?
No.
Number 1, does your department have anything to do with young ladies who have children that do not have spouses?
Yes.
It does. Number 3, when a husband has left his family and doesn't desire to return, what do you say to him?
We try to find out the reasons for the leaving and try to effect some sort of reconciliation if possible.
Is there such a point in question of maybe forcing them to return to help support?
Yes, support is mandatory in certain conditions.
Tom Poston?
Thank you, Mark. Number 2, can you force them to come back if they're out of the state?
No, you can't force him, but there are some states which allow extradition.
For this particular thing,
To bring him back.
Well, number one, I'm very interested in the way you go about changing the attitudes. What do you do to talk a fella who has left his family into coming back and living with them?
Is that me, number one?
Yes, please.
Well, we try to make contact with the missing person or the disappearing person and find out the causes. And we also try to find out from the deserted spouse how she sees the point, how she sees herself.
All right, panel. It's time to vote now. I think it's a very difficult choice myself.
I do, too.
I wouldn't know who to vote for. Without consultation, please mark your ballots. And audience, once again, it's time for you to vote on your little voting contraptions. So when I say vote, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are you ready? Vote. Okay, your votes have been registered, and now let's see how the panel votes. Are you registered there, Tom? How did you vote, please?
I finally chose number 3. He didn't seem to be taking, I'm sure he takes his job very seriously, but he didn't seem to be taking this interrogation terribly seriously, and why should he? He knows all the answers.
All right. Peggy Cass.
Well, I voted for number 3. He seemed to have a very pleasant, jovial personality, which is what it would take to have some guy that deserted his wife and 10 kids to come back home again. The Finks.
Orson.
I don't know. There's two sides to every story, Peggy. I voted for number 1. I think he looks efficient, trustworthy. He looks a little like Mr. Keene, tracer of lost persons.
I remember that show very well. And Betsy, your vote, please.
And I voted for number 1, too. And it was because when he was standing up on the platform, his trousers looked as though he sat down more than the other men did. And so maybe he wasn't so nervous.
All right, sir, you picked on the basis of shiny pants. We'll see how our audience voted and meet the real Solomon Z. Weiss in just a minute after this word of interest. We're evenly divided, as a matter of fact, by a left and a right. Down the other end, Tom and Peggy are for number 3, and Orson and Betsy are for number 1. Now, let's see who got the most votes from our studio audience. Our audience voted for number 3 by 55 votes out of 100. Very good. Now let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen indeed heads the family location service. So will the real Solomon Z. Weiss please stand up? Thank you. Incidentally, the Family Location Service is a beneficiary of the Federation of Jewish Philanthropies of New York. And now, let's find out who the other gentlemen are. Number 2, will you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My name is Ralph Cohen. I'm sales manager for the Pacific Bag and Burlap Company in New York.
And number 3, you got 2 votes from the panel, and you fooled the audience. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Sidney Epstein, and I'm an executive with the Columbia Cement Company in Brooklyn, manufacturers of adhesives.
Well, gentlemen, you got 2 incorrect votes from the panel, plus 1 from our studio audience. A total of $300 for you to divide. It was a very interesting spot, and thank you very much for being with us. Don't you tell the truth. We shall return in just a moment after this message from Bristol Myers. Okay, panel, you were marvelous today. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much. And so until tomorrow, this is Mark Goodson sitting in for Bud Collier, and as he does, reminding you to tell the truth.
This portion of To Tell the Truth was brought to you by Neat Prolong, the floor wax made to be washed with detergent. To Tell the Truth was a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Johnny Olson speaking. The program was pre-recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, from New York City, Gary Moore. much, and welcome to a nautical and who knows, perhaps somewhat naughty edition of To Tell the Truth. Our first guest is a cruise director, and this cruise director has a great deal to say about the goings-on luxury liners and the seafaring folk who love to float about the ocean blue. We'll find out more about them after we meet our entirely proper panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Gene Rayburn.
I want to tell you, I've been on ocean cruises, and I didn't run into any of this stuff. And either it didn't happen or I didn't get my share. I'm not sure which it is. But in any event, let us now meet our cruise director.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Geraldine Saunders.
Number two.
My name is Geraldine Saunders.
Number three.
My name is Geraldine Saunders.
And your job, landlubbers, is to locate the real Geraldine Saunders, and here is her salty spiel. I, Geraldine Saunders, am the world's only female cruise director on a luxury liner. For the past 7 years, I've devoted 19 hours a day, 7 days a week, to making people happy, both on shipboard and in different ports of call. I've taught dancing, run bingo games, conducted charm courses, even acted as the ship's unofficial psychiatrist and matchmaker. Ah, yes, matchmaker. The wild, deliciously wicked world of the luxury liner invariably brings out the romance in one's soul. I've written a book about my life as a cruise director, in which I reveal everything from how to handle Godzillas to why Christmas cruises are the bane of our existence. My saucy book is titled The Love Boats, and it is signed Geraldine Saunders. And I love the blurb up here from the review from the Los Angeles Times. Exotic ports and erotic games on a sea of sun, sex, and booze.
Boy, ship ahoy.
And by the way, I've been asked to say this book has been bought for television by the wonderful world of Disney. No, actually, it has been bought for television for an NBC movie, and we'll be right back. 3 very easy-to-look-at ladies, all of whom claim to be Geraldine Saunders, a cruise director on a luxury liner. And let's start the questioning, please, with Bill Cullen.
Number 2, for the sake of semantics, just to get it out of the way, what are Godzillas?
Godzillas are usually a man or a woman, or can be a group of people who are the worst passengers. A cruise staff get together and decide who are the biggest complainers, and we call them Godzillas.
And number 1, the Los Angeles Review mentioned the erotic games in the book. What are some of these erotic games you play on your tours?
Well, we play bingo.
Oh, boy.
The priest calls out dirty numbers.
Friends across the land, Gary Moore said that. Oh, you St. Michael. What, number 3, if I may change the subject briefly, these Christmas cruises that are the bane of your existence, what happens on a Christmas cruise?
Well, we always seem to get all the lonely, sort of misfit people who are usually not too happy at home at family.
Well, number 3, you do more than play bingo, don't you?
I'm sorry, we got ourselves a buzzer there. We're going, please, to Kitty.
Thank you. Number 1, how do you get a job like this?
Well, I went to college at Cornell, and I was in the hotel school of management. Then for a summer, I got a job on a ship as a hostess.
I see.
I did such a good job, I got a fabulous offer as a cruise director.
Thank you. Number 2, do you get any sleep on these cruises? What are your hours?
Well, you have to sleep very quickly because you work late and get up very early in the morning.
Number 3, how do you make matches?
Oh, you just, by instinct, really.
Put people together?
Yes, absolutely.
Number 2, do you have to fend off fellas yourself? You look very attractive. You all 3 do. How do you fend off the fellas?
Usually, I'm too busy to be, you know, I just...
You're moving constantly.
I'd say I'd like to, but I'm too busy.
Oh, I see. Would that work? No. Number 1, when you get on the cruise and you look over the passenger list, do you decide who should be together and who should not be together?
Well, sometimes I make mental notes, but many times people will approach me.
And ask you for somebody?
Oh, yes, will ask me.
And from Kitty, please, we go down to Gene Rayburn.
Yes, you've been everywhere, eh? Number 2, how far do you go?
Well...
I mean, where do you go to the Caribbean only?
Depending on what cruise what ship I'm working on.
Yeah.
So,
What is your line, number 2?
I'm presently working for Princess Cruises.
Yes. And number 3, do you agree with number 2's definition of a Godzilla?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And what line do you work for?
I work for Princess Lines also.
And what boat have you been on specifically?
Oh, it's been the Island Princess, the Sea Princess out of Los Angeles.
And number 1, have you ever gone to Europe or the Mediterranean?
No.
No.
Not with the Princess Lines.
Oh, you're all with the Princess Lines?
Yes.
Well, I knew a princess once, but that's another story. Have you ever officiated at a marriage, number 1?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have.
And who performs the ceremony?
Well, the captain does, but it used to be legal. It is no longer legal for the captain to perform a ceremony. He will do it, but usually the couple is married before they get onto the ship.
Yeah. Number 2, do you agree?
Oh, ready, little buzzer takes us on to Peggy.
Number 2, can the captain marry you at the beginning of the cruise, and then at the end of the cruise you just say it was for funsies?
I'm afraid not.
Oh. Now, number 3, don't women outnumber men on cruises?
Yes, they do.
Well, number 1, doesn't that mean that the crew has an extraordinarily good time on a cruise?
It definitely does.
Thank you. Now, number 2, do you get a nice stateroom, or are you down in the bowels of the ship by the winch or whatever it is?
No, they give me a nice, very nice cabin.
1,112 of these leaflets were dropped from an airplane just to impress one girl. The leaflets read, "Mary Lee, I love you. Will you marry me? Steve." Now we'd like you to meet Steve. What is your name, please?
My name is Steve Musich. My name is Steve Musich. My name is Steve Musich.
Only one of these gentlemen is the real Steve Musich. The other 2 are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, Kitty Carlisle, plus 100 people in our studio audience on To Tell the Truth. This portion of To Tell the Truth is brought to you by new Simonized non-scuff floor wax. It dries so bright it still looks wet. It's going to tell the truth, Bob Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Good afternoon, panel.
Good afternoon. Who's that with you there, Bud?
Bright and shiny. Isn't she pretty?
Yes, indeed. I dropped
Mary Lee Gunnison is her name, and she's the subject of our first story, which she will tell in her own words. So, panel, listen carefully. Mary Lee?
I, Mary Lee Gunnison, was proposed to in a unique manner. My boyfriend and I were on a picnic when a plane flew over and dropped over 1,000 leaflets to the ground. I picked one up and read it. It said, "Mary Lee, I love you. Will you marry me, Steve?" When I stopped laughing, I gave him my answer. Signed, Mary Lee Gunnison.
And we'll start the questioning, if we may, with Orson Bean. Orson?
Thank you. Jim, number 2. Oh, no, that's wrong. Are you Steve?
Yes.
Number 2? Because I didn't know. Maybe she said no and you're another guy. What made you dream up an idea like that?
Well, I got talked into it.
By whom?
It was a combination of friends. I'd been flying, and Merrill Lee works with the airlines.
I think it's a marvelous idea. Number 3, did you consider any other ideas like skywriting or anything like that?
I considered skywriting, but since my financial budget was low, they get quite a bit of money to do that
Number
type
1,
of
what did it cost you to pull the whole stunt off?
It cost me about $65.
Did she say yes on the spot as soon as she stopped laughing, or did she think it over?
She didn't think it over. She said yes in about 5 minutes.
She realized you loved her. Well, I think it's sensational. Number 2, now, did you get married shortly after that?
We're not married.
You're not married. So...
Just engaged.
Yeah. You're going to have to drop some more leaflets.
Kitty Carlisle. Number 1, I'm a little confused. Mary Lee said she was on a picnic with her boyfriend. Was that you?
Yes, I'm one.
And number 2, then you had someone else drop the leaflets out of the plane.
Yes.
Oh, and so number 3, that's how you knew exactly where to drop them.
I don't understand.
Well, I mean, you knew exactly where you'd be, so they dropped the leaflets.
Oh, definitely, yes. This is all prearranged with the pilot.
I get it. Now, number 1, why are you waiting to get married?
Why are we waiting? Well, it takes a certain amount of time to arrange things.
Number 2, you don't think she's sort of weakening in her resolve?
Not at all.
Good for you. Number 3, where do you live?
Chicago.
You both live in Chicago?
That's correct.
Tom Poston.
Chicago, yay! How wide an area did the leaflets cover, number 1, when they were being dropped?
Well, they went over, they covered quite a bit of the sky. In fact, most of them landed in the bay.
Chicago's a windy city. What bay, number 1?
San Francisco Bay.
San Francisco Bay. That is wide from Chicago. Where are you from, number 2?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, cut it out, number 2. Where did you do your dropping?
In Fairfax, Virginia.
How did the pilot know that the leaflets were going to drop on you or on Mary Lee?
I thought for a while he didn't. He made 5 passes. We had an orange blanket preset, and the location was preset.
Well, I think it's terrific, but number 3, did Mary know this was going to happen?
No, she had no idea at all.
Oh, that's terrific. Congratulations, whoever.
Peggy Cat.
I think it's romantic and it's terrific to tell your children. But number 3, did you realize that, or Mary Lee, did you realize that you're marrying a terrific litter bug? Number 1, did you get any complaints about all these leaflets that are all over the place? Who picked them up? Did you get a stick with the nail at the end of it, or did you just forget it?
I forgot it.
Mary Lee who said yes.
You just forgot it.
I should have picked them up, but too many. I just
Of course, you
didn't.
couldn't go around swimming in the bay. And number 2, who did the artwork on it? I mean, who made it up? This was pretty.
It was the printing company in Washington, Rapid Printing.
Did you design it?
No, the printers did.
You know, you didn't do very much. You didn't fly the plane. You didn't design the plane. All you did was dirty up the town. I said, Mary Lee, think about this. Number 3, what do you do? Do you work for the airlines, too?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
See, you're very airlines-minded, you two.
And that's it. That's all the time we have. Time for you now to pick up your litter and mark your ballots, if you will. Mark them at once without change and without any consultation. And while you're doing that, of course, it's time for the studio audience to vote. On the voting machines in front of each of you, there are 3 buttons. When I say vote, please select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are you ready? Vote. All right, that's recorded. Panel, for whom did you vote? Tom, what is your vote?
I was rude during Peggy's questioning, and I kept interrupting and talking all through. So I'd like to give her this time to give the reason why I voted for number 1. Peggy?
I don't know why you do anything.
Peggy Cass.
But you did talk all the time, and I was interested. I want to know more. I voted for number 2 because he has a very pixie quality, and I believe that he'd do it.
Orson.
I voted for number 1. They have the same smile, Terry Lee and he, and I think that even as people's dogs look like them, people's husbands look like them, too. My wife and I look alike, and I think they look alike.
Are you kidding? She's pretty.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 2 because obviously Mary Lee likes to laugh. And number 2 has a lot of humor, and I think they're going to get along just fine when they get around to it.
All right, let's find out who got the most votes from our studio audience. Our audience voted for number 2. So, panel has voted, the audience has voted. Mary Lee, if you were voting, for whom would you be voting?
Well, I'd vote for number 1.
Mary Lee, for whom do you work?
I'm an airline hostess with TWA.
You plan to continue working for TWA after you get married?
Yes, I do.
When is the date of the wedding?
December 9th.
December 9th. Are we all invited?
Fine with me. We'll have to get a bigger church. Same date. Exactly.
On the steps of the White House?
Afraid not.
Well, it's a joy to have you here with us and to wish you the very best of everything in every way. God bless you. Number 2, what is your real name? What do you do, sir?
I'm Mark Mason, and I'm a general manager for American Children's Theater, producing the Toby Tyler Show.
And number 3, what is your name and what do you do, sir?
My name is John Stir, and I'm president of David Eden Associates. We produce rock and roll records.
Well, in checking the score, we find there were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes. 3 times $100 is $300. Ladies, rather lady and gentlemen, we thank you very much for gracing our show. Hope it was fun. Goodbye and God bless you. We'll meet our next team of challengers in a minute. But you know, there's usually a reason for not feeling well. Now, coming up next is one of the most unusual and fascinating stories we have ever presented on To Tell the Truth.
What is your name, please?
My name is John Carroll.
My name is John Carroll.
My name is John Carroll.
We'll learn more about John Carroll in just a minute. Now, this word from Nestle's. Please open up your second envelope now, if you will, and follow along with me. I, John Carroll, used to be a probation officer for the Bronx Children's Court in New York City. 15 years ago, I handled a fascinating case. For over a year, I tried to help a fatherless 12-year-old truant by taking him away from his mother and placing him in an institution where he could receive the love and understanding he craved and the proper psychiatric help he needed so badly. I encountered a series of problems in trying to place the boy, and before I was able to solve them, his mother took him out of New York State. If I had been given time to help that unfortunate 12-year-old child, the entire course of history might have been changed. The young man's name was Lee Harvey Oswald. Signed, John Carroll.
This portion of To Tell the Truth was brought to you by new Simonized non-scuff floor wax. Dries so bright it still looks wet.
And these 3 gentlemen, as you heard, claim to be John Carroll. An audience, you'll be voting again for the real one. Listen carefully to the questioning, if you will, which we will begin with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty.
Thank you, Bud. By the affidavit number 1, it seemed that you had real feeling for this child. How did you happen to meet him?
He was referred by the court. He came in for truancy.
I see. Number 2, do you believe that this whole terrible chain of events was caused by his desire to be noticed or to be loved or what?
I believe so.
To be noticed?
I do believe so.
Number 3, what were the problems you encountered that you couldn't place him before his mother took him away?
Well, the usual problems that you find, I'm trying to get him into one of the schools, and you have to have a series of recommendations to the judges, and all these have to be approved.
Number 1, are you still a probation officer?
No, I'm not.
What do you do now?
I'm a lawyer.
Tom Poston.
Number 2, in view of the consequences of this boy's life, would you say that you have encountered others with somewhat the same pattern, psychological patterns that he had?
Yes, this pattern is not entirely unfamiliar.
Number 3, have you been able to help some of these boys in a way that would prevent disastrous circumstances from happening in their lives?
Not as much as we'd like to, that's about as simple
What
as
do
I
you
can
do,
say.
thank you, what do you do for them, number 1?
I mean, which boys are you speaking about?
Well, potentially dangerous boys.
You try to get to them early to forestall anything that might happen in the future.
How do you do that, number 2?
Well, and we counsel them. We refer them for counseling. For example, we might send them, as we did in this case, to Youth House. We might, well, in this case also, of course, we referred him to, we attempted to have him institutionalized, but we weren't successful.
Thank you.
Did Lee Harvey Oswald have any sisters or brothers?
He had an older half-brother, and he had an older brother, I believe, by the same father.
Well, number two, did they live with him and his mother in New York?
No, they did not.
Number one, was he a naturally bright boy or was he slow?
Well, I think he was an average, likable boy, not a bright boy or slow.
Orson Bean.
Number two, it seems to me that for practical purposes, psychiatry will never be able to prevent things like this, because it's all hindsight to say that he would have been better off in the institution, isn't it?
To a certain extent, yes.
I mean, number three, normally one would say that if a kid's mother wants him, he must be better off with the mother, because you don't get much love and understanding in an institution, do you?
You're absolutely right, and most of the times we do approach it that way.
Yeah.
But in the long run, when you find out that you're not getting anywhere there...
Right. Number one, what do you think in the case of a Richard Speck or the guy on the Texas Tower? These are all comparable types to Oswald, potentially explosive people who seem calm on the outside. Is there any way that a doctor can, or a psychologist can spot this, and if so, what should be done?
Well, I think it's very difficult. Actually, there has to be some manifestation of an early childhood.
Legally, you can't put somebody away just because you figure something might happen in the future, right?
Sorry, that's all we have time for, but there would be a lot more, should be a lot more time for a lot more questioning because it is interesting. However, mark your ballots, if you will, please, panel, at once. And audience, once again, it's time for you to vote with your voting machines. When I say vote, as before, please select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Are you ready? Vote. Okay, those votes are registered. As to the panel, Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, I think we've been duly chastened by this spot, the great tragedy that surrounded this boy, but I voted for number 2 in spite of the fact that he seemed almost too much like a psychologist with his careful answers, weighing the pros and cons of everything, but I voted for number 2 finally.
Peggy.
Well, it was very hard for me, but I voted for number 3. I don't know why. If I were going to be counseled, I'd like to talk to number 3.
Orson B.
Well, we got off the track a little in talking about psychologists because actually the gentleman was a probation officer, and I voted for number 1 because he has a bit of the look of the gumshoe about him to me.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 3. I thought number 1 was a little too young to have been counseling this boy. I can hardly bear to say his name. And number 2 seemed a little bit too professional. So I voted for number 3.
Very well, we'll find out how our audience voted and meet the real John Caro in just a minute. Now, this message. Hey. Thank you very much, panel.
Thank you, Bud.
See you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's the brightest spot in my day, the fact that I'll see you again tomorrow. See you again tomorrow, too, I trust. And in the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth.
The biggest event in blackjack is back, Jack. GSN presents the World Series of Blackjack, an all-new season.
I'm so incredibly good at this game.
Because they're playing for a king's ransom, we're bringing back the Burger King Power Chip. The World Series of Blackjack, an all-new season tomorrow, 11 p.m., 10 Central on GSN.
Ladies and gentlemen, from New York City, Joe Garagiola.
Thank you very much. And welcome to Tell the Truth. Thank you, Bill Wendell. Hey, if, as the song says, the hills are alive today with the sound of music, our stage is alive today with the lady who was the inspiration for the great Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. And we're going to meet the Baroness von Trapp right after we say hello to our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Here is Bill Cullen. Kitty Carlisle. Nipsey Russell. And Peggy Cash.
Yes, sir, The Sound of Music. That was one of the great ones. I'll tell you, I really enjoyed that. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen that. Nipsey is with us. He gave us a thought yesterday. I'm not going to ask him for a thought. I'm going to tell him to think about it, and he'll spring one on us before this show is over.
Right.
Although, I tell you, I don't know how you can come up with them. You've been so busy as the co-star of The Wiz.
Yeah.
A great movie, yeah. Sure. All right. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to meet the lady whose life was full of the sound of music.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Maria von Trapp.
Number 2.
I am Maria von Trapp.
Number 3.
My name is Maria von Trapp.
Listen carefully now to the inspirational story of Maria von Trapp. I, Maria von Trapp, am the real-life Maria in the popular musical and motion picture, The Sound of Music. As you may recall, at the time of Adolf Hitler, my husband, my children, and I fled our native Austria. As the Trapp family singers, we then traveled the world singing the a cappella music of the 16th and 17th centuries, as well as the folk songs of different lands. After settling in Vermont, for years we conducted a summer music camp. Now our lodge is a Christmas visitor's paradise. A word concerning the two actresses who portrayed me. While I thought they were both excellent, I tried desperately, but unsuccessfully, to convince both Mary Martin and Julie Andrews not to make Maria so ladylike. Signed, Baroness Maria von Trapp. We'll have some questions from our panel, and we'll have some answers from that side right after we watch these commercials. Today is graced with three lovely ladies, all claiming to be the Baroness Maria von Trapp, the head of the Trapp family singers and the inspiration for Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical, The Sound of Music. And we're going to start this round with our own little songbird,
Thank
Kitty
you.
Carlisle.
Well, whoever you are, I admire you enormously. You've done a wonderful job, and you've given us a lovely musical. Number 1, did Rodgers and Hammerstein know you before?
Sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Mason. Talk show hostess, Mother Loud. Actor and raconteur, Orson Bean. And to tell the truth's very own, Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Burton. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And good morning. Good morning, panel. My, oh, my. Don't we all just look spiffy today? So let's get to the monkeys. Our first story represented by these three gentlemen, each of whom claims to be Don McLeod. I, Don McLeod, love to make a monkey of myself. You see, that's how I make my living. Do you remember this commercial where the gorilla smashes a suitcase against the ground? That's me. How about the movie Trading Places, or The Man with Two Brains? Again, I was the man inside the gorilla suit. I'm a pantomimist, and my teacher was the one and only Marcel Marceau. I've spent years studying the marvelous way that jungle animals move, especially the gorilla. But being an ape isn't always easy. While making the movie Naked Gun 2.5, I almost died from heat prostration. It's also hard to answer when people ask, what do you do for a living? Signed, Don McLeod. Notice the family resemblance? You'll find out more about this monkey business right after this. Well, all three of these gentlemen claim to be Don McLeod, who is a professional gorilla. Kitty, we'll start the questioning with you.
Number one, do you have children?
No, I don't.
Number two, where did you study with Marceau?
In California here for 8
Was
weeks.
he here? Number three, what happened when you, how did you signal that you were about to die of heat prostration?
I passed out on the set and my eyes rolled back in my head and...
We once had a gorilla. Oh, I was going to tell my story.
We
Never
once had a
mind.
gorilla. To use some of my time.
No.
Orson, go ahead.
Number two, can you do gorilla walking against the wind, or did you learn that from Marcel Marceau?
No, a small part of it from him, but I studied large animals extensively.
Number one now, what luggage is it that you threw around in that commercial?
That was American Tourister.
All right, number three, Naked Gun 2.5. I can't wait to see that. What do you do as the gorilla in that?
There's a scene where Leslie Nielsen goes through a zoo wall in a tank and I run after him.
Very good. What's...
Mother?
Number one, so you can really make a living at this. What if you weren't in the movies?
You could, you know, go to shopping malls and do a special event, Christmas gorilla, that kind of thing.
Number two, so what, you worked in trading places. What was it like to work with Eddie Murphy?
Fantastic. He's an excellent actor.
Did you get to work with Steve Martin? You do any scenes with him as well in The Man with Two Brains?
Yes, I did.
Number two.
Ron.
Number one, do you know who Janos Prohaska was?
I think he was a man who played gorillas in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
Number two, Marcel Marceau's very famous character is called what?
Bip.
Number three, do you know who Antoine Ducreux was?
No, I sure don't.
And then number two, do you know the lady who studied primates?
I can't recall.
Number one, they did a movie called Gorillas in the Mist. Do you know who that was about?
Diane Fossey, I think her name is.
All right. Your time is up. You've got to vote, and you have to vote for the person you feel is the real Don McLeod, the man inside the monkey suit professionally. Is it number one? Is it number two? Or is it number three? Our team of challengers, of course, receives $500 for each incorrect vote with a minimum guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is fooled completely, then the team will receive $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
Well, I had to vote for number one because he knew all those questions that Ron asked. Although number two, kind of fooled me about Marcel Marceau, but I'd still voted for number one.
I see. Orson.
I thought it was number two because he had the worst gorilla suit on. I forgot the real one would let the other guys. But I had to vote for number one. It's Etienne Ducreux, who was Marcel Marceau's. He did two gorillas walking against the wind.
Aha.
No other man has ever been able to do that.
Mother?
This is really crazy. I voted for number three because he looks the most comfortable in that goofy suit.
Mother, that's as good a reason as I've heard on this program in the past
I mean,
few
he's
months,
just sitting there
believe
like, hey, I do gorillas. I'm cool.
Yep, that's it. Ron?
Because number one knew all the answers, and because number three looked comfortable in the suit, I went for number two because he knew about Bip.
All right, let's review the voting. 2 votes for number one, 1 for number two, 1 only for number three. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out who really goes ape professionally. Will the real Don McLeod please stand up? Number one. All righty. Orson and Kitty, our 2 veterans, were correct on that. Don, we'll get back to you in a second. Let's find out about our imposters. Number 2, who knew about Marcel Marceau's character?
My name is Frank O'Rourke. I own the Frank Touch. I restore vintage watches.
I see. Number 3?
Hi, my name is Mark Sears, and I work for a local construction company as a plumber.
Well, you did well on our program today. There were 2 incorrect votes at $500 apiece, and that means the team will receive $1,000. Now, let's get back to you, Don.
Thank you.
There is another subject we want to touch on right now, and you and I know the tremendous power of television. And Don McLeod, ladies and gentlemen, has been searching for his birth mother for how many years now, Don?
About 10 years.
Can you give a little bit of information that perhaps will help you locate her or enable some of our viewers to write in and assist you?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And she was born in, I was born in 1948 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And my mother was from Grand Prairie. Her name was Ethel Walker, and she was a hairdresser. That's all I know. Don't know where she is or if she's still alive, but if anybody knows her and she's out there, I'd be forever grateful.
Well, from personal experience, I know how these things can have very happy endings. So good luck to you. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any information about the woman mentioned by Don here, just write to us to tell the truth, care of NBC, Burbank, California. We'll see that he gets the information. Thank you all for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back with a revolutionary preschool teacher, right after this. Our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Bev Boss.
Number 2.
My name is Bev Boss.
Number 3.
My name is Bev Boss.
In a few moments, we'll find out who the real Bev Boss is. Here's her story. I, Bev Boss, am a teacher with a revolutionary approach to early childhood education. In my classes, I do not teach the 3 R's. I believe children were not born to sit still and be quiet. They were born to run, to make noise, to play in the mud. Parents who accelerate the education of their children risk doing more harm than good. A child can't learn words until he has experienced those words. That's why I don't impose rules of behavior. I want my students to interrupt, to ask questions, to sing, to write their own stories, to make mud pies and blow bubbles. Left to explore and learn on their own, children learn to socialize and cooperate with each other, to develop their imagination, self-esteem and confidence in their own abilities. Learning becomes fun, as described in my latest book, Together, We're Better. Signed, Bev Boss. We'll start the questioning with a father of 6,
Yes.
Ron Masak.
Oh, am I angry. I can't wait till Orson gets this because he had his own school. Number 1, what about the discipline problem?
Discipline comes from the word disciple. Children learn by example. We give good examples.
Number 2, if you just let them run haphazard around the classroom, when do they have time to learn each other's names, for example?
Well, I don't think kids just run haphazard. Children always have a direction of their own. And it's, kids don't learn anything through their bottoms.
Number 3, if you don't teach the 3 R's, how do they write what they learn?
Well, they keep a journal, which they tell us what to write in. We read back, they look at what we've written, and they have to go at their own level. I think people are pushing children too hard nowadays.
Number 2, when they're...
Oh, good questions once again, Ron. Mother?
Number 3, are you concerned with the fact that these kids are telling you? It seems to me that they're telling you what to do as opposed to you telling them what to do.
We feel that experience is not just the best trainer, it's the only trainer of children.
Number 2, but these are, how old are these children?
2 years, 9 months to 5 and 6.
Number 2, these are very small children who need a great deal of direction. Are you concerned that later on in life they might not think, look, I can just go out here and just disrupt and interrupt anybody and everything because I'm being inquisitive?
No, I think kids fail because they don't develop a self. That's how they fail.
Number 1, then go to back up what number 2 just said, do you feel that it's important to teach these children self-esteem in the class?
I think self-esteem is about the number 1 thing that we can teach any children in class or out of class.
Number 2, how...
Orson, who had his own school.
Indeed I did. Number 3, what is Summerhill?
Summerhill was an experimental school for children.
Number 1, do the older kids sometimes teach the younger kids?
Yes, we don't separate by age.
Yeah. Number 2, do the kids wear white gloves and stand up when the teacher comes in the room?
Sure.
Sure?
Yeah, sure.
Kitty?
Well, I don't understand. Number 2, how can you expect a child to experience the words you're trying to teach him? Children have to learn words they can't experience.
Some words, yeah, but young children, the way they learn is kinesthetically by attaching words to experiences. There are some words they would learn without that. But generally,
well, number 1, George Bernard Shaw said drilling is what's needed. You don't teach them anything they have to do.
Definitely not.
Nothing.
No, strictly socialization and learning by doing, hands-on, concrete.
Number 3, we used to have to learn poems to recite at night to our parents. It was sort of charming. You don't do that.
If they want to learn a poem, we have them, encourage them to make up their own poems.
Oh, that's
creative.
Nice.
Oh, if only the Jesuits had heard of this school years and years ago when I needed them. All right, panel, time for you to cast your ballots for the woman you feel is the revolutionary teacher. Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Ron, for whom did you vote?
Well, this staff, I can say this now because it's last. This is the best trained staff in the world because 2 of those people are lying to me. And I think all 3 of them are teachers. But based on the fact that she knew Summerhill, I went with number 3.
Well, I agree with you. All 3 of our challengers were very, very convincing. Yes. Mother?
You know, looking at these 3 women, I just cannot believe, even if they taught school, that number 1 and number 2 would let a bunch of little bitty crumb snatchers run around their classroom. I think it's number 3 who's letting those kids run wild and have fun and be creative.
Yeah, those crumb snatchers are bad news.
You know, little kids.
Right,
children.
Orson.
The Rugrats in my school used to learn. They learned poems. Mary had a little lamb. The doctor fainted. I voted for number 1.
Kitty, for whom did you vote?
Well, I know that Orson School was based on the Summerhill system, and number 3 knew about it, and I believe that she's the one that but the other 2 look exactly like teachers.
All righty, let's review the votes. 1 vote for number 1, no votes for number 2, and I thought number 2 was very convincing in some of her responses, and 3 votes for number 3. So let's find out who the real champion of childhood shenanigans is. Will the real Bev Boss please stand up? It is number 2, and he stumped the panel.
I knew it. It was a dress.
Bev, we'll get back to you in a moment. Let's find out about our imposters, who were very good today. Number 1.
My name is Ardell Wazorek. I'm an oil painter and a grandmother.
Okay.
Thanks, Orson.
Some experience with children. Number 3, tell us about yourself.
My name is Sonara O'Donnell, and I train people in how to get new jobs.
Well, our staff trained you extremely well because the 3 of you managed to stump the panel, and that means that as a team you will receive $3,000. Now, Bev, is your method gaining in popularity in America now?
Well, I've given over 4,000 workshops. I sure hope so.
Yeah. Can you give us an example?
I know that I'm right. Yeah, sure I can.
You do?
See, this bag's been full of water for about 4 hours. If you stick a pencil, let me get one that has a sharper point on it, all the way through, it doesn't leak. How many pencils can you stick in? I had a kid the other day who did 18 pencils in a bag, and it never leaked water.
A future serial killer.
This, this is what kids need to do, and it magnifies it. It's such a wonderful...
Well, it's fascinating, and because I've got the young one, I'll be talking to you after the program about what I can do for him. But thank you all for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. You guys were terrific. We'll be back to play one-on-one right after this. Time to play one-on-one, and Burton, who do you have for us today?
Alex, today we have from Sepulveda, California, Sarah McMullen.
Sarah McMullen. Lucky Sarah was selected. Sarah, you have a chance to win $500 in cash. Good luck to you. Let me introduce a gentleman who has 2 marvelous stories to tell. Folks, please welcome Mr. X. Sarah, Mr. X is going to tell us 2 stories, one of which happens to be the truth. You spot that true story and you'll win $500. Mr. X, what's your first story, please?
I am the man behind the scenes. I am the director of To Tell the Truth.
May or may not be the truth, however. So let's go to story number 2. Mr. X?
Frank Sinatra sings my song. I wrote New York, New York.
All right, Sarah, 1 question from each of our panelists on each subject. First of all, that he is the man behind the scenes, the director of this show. Kitty.
Mr. X, how long have I been on To Tell the Truth?
I'd rather not say.
Orson.
Well, first of all, I'd like to send my regards to the lovely Mrs. X. And I'd like to say, have you ever directed a real show?
I did Ukulele Ike.
Mother?
Number 2, are you related to Mr. Goodson?
Oh.
I mean,
I'm not,
Mr.
but
X.
I wish I were.
Oh, Ron.
Mr. X, without embarrassing me, who was your favorite panelist?
I can't answer that. I love all my panelists.
Good. A good diplomatic response. Now let's get to story number 2, that this gentleman, Mr. X, wrote New York, New York. Great song.
Mr. X, what other songs have you written?
I have written mostly jingles for commercials, but I have written several shows. I've written several shows, too.
Nice. Orson?
Mr. X, who had the biggest single hit record of I know many singers recorded, but who was your favorite recording artist that did it? I'll put it that way.
Well, it's certainly between Liza and Frank. I can't really pick between the two of them. They both are platinum records.
All right, Mother?
Mr. X, did you pick Frank Sinatra to sing it, or did he like the song and decided to sing it?
Frank liked the song. He saw the movie it was in, he loved it, and he decided to do it.
Ron?
What was the name of the movie with Liza where she introduced the song?
New York, New York.
Thank you, Mr.
Catchy
X.
title.
All right, Sari, you've heard the cross-examination. Is Mr. X the director of this show, or did he write that hit song, New York, New York?
Well, I like the song, and I like this guy, so I'm going to say New York, New York.
All right. Mr. X, what is your true story?
To tell the truth, my name is Paul Alter, and I am the director of To Tell the Truth.
And that's bad news for Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. We've got a lovely gift for you. And wait a minute. Usually I say we want to thank Paul Alter for playing one-on-one, and you get $1,000, but I don't think that's in your contract. We'll resolve it during this commercial break, and we'll come back with Paul and the rest of the gang after this.
Out family friction on Family Feud next. Then catch Blockbusters and Password Plus on GSN.
This is our last show on To Tell the Truth, and we wanted to go out in style with a touch of class and with, as Cyrano de Bergerac would say, our panache intact. And rules are rules. We have a rule that says if you stump the person in the audience in the one-on-one segment, you get $1,000. Paul Alter gets $1,000, but he's going to give $500 to Sarah, who was playing one-on-one. And the other $500 goes to his favorite charity, the Music Center here in Los Angeles. So thank you, Paul. I want to say it was a great pleasure working with you as director on this program. I'm indebted to the man on my left, Mark Goodson. Every show he produces is class in itself. Thank you for having me here. And Kitty and Orson and Ron and Mother Love. And thank all of you. To Tell the Truth started in the mid-50s, ladies and gentlemen. It has had 4 reincarnations. I have a feeling it may be back in the near future. If it is, I hope I'm associated with it. So long, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Millions of people are watching, yet they feel so at home.
Oh, I think I'll have to take a pee.
What makes game show contestants throw out all common sense?
Pop another testicle in your mouth.
Find out. Watch Ben Stein host Game Show Moments Gone Bananas. The funniest moments in game show history. Saturday at 6 p.m. only on GSN.
The Orson Bean Tribute on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the classic episodes of Match Game, Tattletales, and To Tell the Truth. I enjoyed bringing you as much fun as I could. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night, all.